We speak. What? That's unreal.
Wow.
Okay. All right, we are live. I gotta set this up so that my face is.
Speak. What? That's unreal.
We are live, guys. Can you all hear me? I'm just gonna set this up so my face is brighter.
All right, we are live.
I'm gonna mute this.
Set this up so that my face is.
Okay. Mute. You guys can. Okay, so Paul Levels, let's go. 9/11 revisionist. Whoop whoop. We are good. And then Paul's leaving his grandma's 100th birthday party as we speak. That's epic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Joe Lafiama says, "Hi, all. Let's start." There you are. We see and hear you clearly. Oh, there's an echo. Who can hear an echo? Oh, I turned that off. Okay. Oh, Matthias is here. First, epic stuff. All right. So we are getting some epic audience right here. All right. Timothy Sullivan's in the house. We have the two super fans. All right. And I'll put a link as always in here. Okay. So yeah, I was actually under the weather for all week. And I'm gonna put this in the chat. Here's the link to the link. It's gone now. Yeah, I had the accidentally had the tab open but unmuted. All right. So that was how the chat looks like. I gotta figure out how to. Okay, but anyways, it should be fine. We have how many people? 15 users, 15 people on, and we have Mark Conlon in the house. All right, and get to see your yeah. So Mark Paul Lovell says, "Good to see your face, Mark." All right, that's
Hello,
good.
Paul.
All right, so yeah. So what I'll do is, I will stop sharing the screen so we can see our giant faces, and I'll just let the audience know. Okay, guys, I think we should probably get going. 15 people live, or how many should we wait a bit longer, or should we keep going? Just go.
You can wait a bit longer, do your show.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn how to do all this. Okay, I'm just setting up my table. All right, guys. Actually, let's do the first setup here, guys. As always, MES links has everything there, and become a super fan. MES links, and we're gonna just get straight into it. Okay, guys. Where did it go? Okay, Sunji finally made it. Hi, guys. Okay, so we have some people showing up. Guys, become super fan. Throw some cash at me, and I still got to cover the costs of the that $500 John Hutchison samples. All right, guys. Anyways, I think we're gonna start. Just head in there, and anyone else that's late, you can replay a bit of it. All right, guys. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop presenting here. So today's guest is Mark Conlon, and goes by the name 9/11 Planes Research on YouTube, BitChute, and his Blogspot, and so on. And he is one of the original actual planes researcher. And actually that comes to our disclaimer. So we're gonna. So we'll do the disclaimer after you actually introduce yourself. But yeah, so Mark Conlon, he helped Chris Hampton do the 9/11 Alchemy video, the documentary that's gone super viral, and it's actually the most viewed video on my channel still.
Wow.
Yeah, and it broke 1 million views. So so without further ado, yes, Mark, great guy, is an absolute encyclopedia on all things 9/11 planes. So so if you want to introduce yourself and tell the audience and so on.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Matt. Yeah, I'm Mark Conlon. Yeah, I've been into this for quite a while. Do you want a bit of a background how I got into it?
Oh, sure.
You did mention that, didn't you, when you said, yeah. So, young boy, I've, had an open mind when I was young. I was into paranormal stuff, all sorts of things like that. It was around when I was 17, I watched a documentary that was broadcast in the UK called The Men Who Killed Kennedy. And that really was the start of my awakening in 1988, where that really sent a bit of a seismic shock with me that if they can kill the president and cover it up for 25 years as it was back then who among us is safe? So from that, I just started getting into those type of subjects: JFK, RFK, Martin Luther King assassination, and then Marilyn Monroe. I got into that. So this is all through the 90s, and then we had Princess Diana accident, and then obviously 9/11. So it wasn't until a couple of years after 9/11, 2 or 3 years, that I really started to hear that something wasn't right with it. So I didn't pick it up straight away, that there was something wrong. So I just heard about it on Black Op Radio show, one of the early internet radio shows with Leno Sanic. I had some interviews there with people, Tom Floco, Victor Thorne, and that set me on the path. And then I bought the film In Plain Sight, Loose Change, Painful Deceptions I watched, and there was a lot going on back then. So that sort of really opened everything up for me. But I didn't become researching till around about, I was more of a follower of researchers. And then I began around, it must have been about 2007, I seen the film September Clues, sort of bought into that a bit. And then it would have been around about 2012, I think I began to realise that that film, September Clues, was full of some terrible mistakes in that film that were being portrayed and pushed. And then Richard Deal did this flight 175 radar analysis. I'd already met Richard as well, and Andrew Johnson early on, and Dr. Judy Wood. I think I met her in 2011. And this sort of got me more into the swing of doing research then. And Andrew posted some of my articles on his Check the Evidence website, and it sort of grew from there. And then I opened up a blog, and it sort of went from there then. And I really went down the rabbit hole with the plane subject, because there was that much things going on with that, different schools of thought, and I just wanted to get to the bottom of it. And I went on this pursuit. And I've sort of been on it ever since. And it was thanks to Richard Deal put me on his show with some of my early research that I did. And I went on with Andrew Johnson. And that's really where it all began. Building, my profile and getting interest. So, yeah, that's sort of where I got to with that. I am a professional background. I have a professional background. So, yeah, I've had a few things happen, as we spoke about before we come on air, because of looking into certain technologies. I have what I consider an attempt on my life 3 years ago, and which wasn't pleasant, but it didn't stop me taking part in Chris Hampton's follow-up film. So I did that, and I'm planning on putting everything that I've got into a book, or might take 2 or 3 books actually to do with the planes. So that's what I've been working on. And to be honest, Matt, I've not done any interviews or anything like that since really, and I've sort of held back from it. But I think with you and Norman doing what you're doing, I felt like I couldn't really turn you down to come on. And
yeah, that's great.
You're doing a good job. So there you go. That's about me.
No, that's great. And your book, is there any timeline on when it's coming out?
Well, there was. I was hoping to get it done before this COVID thing happened. To be honest, I was working towards something with that, but this COVID happened, and that sort of put me into it sent me off course a little bit, because I felt there's more important things I was had to be attending to at that time, and so it pushed a lot back. And obviously with what happened to me with this, what I consider this attempt on my life, it that pushed it back as well. Yeah. And I've had to spend some time trying to get back on track.
Yeah, and do you mind telling the audience what happened, or do you want to save it for later, or what do you want to?
Well,
Yeah, because
yeah.
they hear attempt on a life, and then they're probably wondering what's going on here. And I include that actually right
Well,
here.
well, yeah. I mean, what happened was I was due to do an interview with Chris Hampton for his follow-up film to 9/11 Alchemy, A Big Idea it was called, what he was working on, and I did an interview on the Tuesday in the August of 2021. I think something like the 10th or the 11th, and we didn't get to actually talk about some of the other parts to do with the plane, as I was alluding to, the technology element, which a lot of people are interested in, and of how it was done or pulled off, and what technologies they might have used to create that. And so we were arranging to do a follow-up interview, which was for the Friday. So you got the Tuesday and then the Friday. So we had to cancel. So I actually spoke to him. Because of the nature of what we were going to talk about, which was this technology I'd become aware of, and some patents and what we were going to put into the film, and some of the new bits to do with the Pentagon. My last words to him was, I said, you do realise that talking about this technology, because we was talking about Sergei Monast as well, to do with Project Bluebeam, who him and another journalist got killed, let's say. And I said, you do realise they'll either discredit your character, they'll either suicide you off, or they'll give you a heart attack. And 14 hours later, I had a pretty substantial heart attack, quite a bad one. And I don't think it was a coincidence of what we were about to do. And life hasn't been the same since, let's just put it that way. And I'm not going into any sub stories, but it hasn't been the same. So it's a dangerous, not just talking about the planes, but the technology elements. It's quite a dangerous field to be investigating. Now, previously to this, I'd had, when I appeared on Richard D. Hall's show, I had a lot of strange things happen. And ultimately, one of them was, this is in 2017, they actually terminated my whole, not just my YouTube channel, and the Google account, which is quite rare. You normally only have your YouTube channel closed down, but I had the whole lot. So, and I was uncovering some quite, what I would call at that time, some type of psychological operation, which was to lead people away from the actual technology that I was eventually going to go on and talk about some years later. So I was actually exposing the cover-up element of what was keeping that technology concealed, and it's quite a dangerous area. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
But I did end up doing the interview still, but I was quite ill in that interview. I'd not long come out of hospital, and I only kept it very short, not my usual couple of hours.
Yeah, and you said that they were saying you should do a triple bypass surgery, but you're still here fine without it. So that's,
well, I'm still, I'm meant to be having that, but I must say it's there's a lot of trauma involved with what's happened, so I'll just leave it at that.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
For sure. Thanks for sharing as much as you did. That's great. And also, I just want to put in, so Sonny G just became a super fan, so that's great. Thank you, Sonny G. And also, Stefan 144. Yeah, reading your comments, pretty much it. Yeah, he was saying the technology, the plane image technology. Yeah, it wasn't CGI. It's not a pod, as Richard Hall once believed. But yeah. And again,
I'll just clarify something as well,
yeah.
quickly. I haven't had any arm spears, so just in case anybody's thinking it was caused because of a certain medical intervention, it wasn't that.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can't, YouTubers have to like walk on eggshells.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, and
but just to clarify that, because I do get asked that, and
and also 9/11 Vision was asking if we had a Rumble link. I was trying to set up a Rumble live stream, but I just don't know how to connect it to my live streaming thingy. So, but it is being recorded. So if anything happens, but I think we'll be fine because we're gonna follow the YouTube guidelines, guys. And here's the guideline here. So disclaimer: regardless of what the objects in the air on 9/11 were, we will refer to them as planes to avoid being flagged by YouTube's hate speech guidelines. And YouTube literally states in here, it does not allow, quote, hate speech against victims of a major violent event and their family members, and also do not allow content that denies a well-documented violent event took place. So in other words, you got to be careful. So the plane image technology that did this, which is again, in my view, beyond mainstream physics. And we will again, yeah. So that's just a YouTube guidelines on literally victims and denying things. We're not denying things. So we'll just see how it goes. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So and the next thing I wanted to see, Corner Billy may have opening hole for alleged. This is some of the notes I haven't had a chance to look at. This was actually from your, yeah, so I saw this from yours 3 weeks ago, and you said that there was possibly an opening in the exit hole, I think, something like that. I didn't have a chance to rewatch this, but we can get to that in a bit. So
Are we alluding to like a plane's nose coming through there?
I just want to see what 1155 corner may have an opening or hole. I didn't have a chance to fully review what my notes were. Let's go back to 1155 here. Okay, I'm gonna play
This one here. Now, this was a video I came.
Okay.
There's a bit of debris up there as well if you have a look closely.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay,
They
so
say.
until I gather my thoughts on that one, I'm just gonna go through what the next notes were, and then we could see some of your work that you've had. So another thing I wanted to show was so singed paper on 9/11. Yeah, so someone responded saying like, you know that there's millions of paper flying everywhere. A lot of it was singed. Did you note that as well? Like especially coming out of the impact zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yeah. From what I've looked at, but
was
I've not studied the paper so much. I think that's more on
Yeah.
Dr. Judy sort of.
Because one of the guys actually says he was on 9/11, and he noticed that the papers that was flying through the impact zone was singed. It's like somehow it had like the edges were a tiny bit burned, but not the whole thing. So it's like, how is it getting tiny bit burned but not fully burned? So that was an interesting part.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I've not studied the paper so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had some of these notes were from early on. So the next one, I got this from your video actually. So Bush lying, NORAD practice hijacker drills against WTC, and then September 11th exercise of flying plane in building, and so this this is what I wanted to actually ask. Is I knew that there was well, I heard about there was many exercises going on literally on 9/11, and if you can discuss further on that. So like this one right here.
There was a lot pre 9/11. I posted a few videos up on the blog about that. Four of them.
This was here. We could actually
involving all the airlines.
We could try playing this one here. This was from your channel. NORAD hijack exercise prior to 9/11. But so to do this, I gotta share one tab. I'm just gonna play it. Just play this for the audience, and then we can go through what we can need to go through. All right.
Going to take a closer look tonight at another example of where, despite the conventional wisdom, there were people in the United States who actually were preparing to defend against the kind of attacks which occurred here on 9/11. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD for short, has been defending the skies over the U.S. and Canada for almost 50 years, 46 to be precise. USA Today reports that in the 2 years before the attacks on September the 11th, NORAD conducted exercises using hijacked airliners as weapons. And one target was the World Trade Center.
We knew he hated us. But there was nobody in our government, at least, and I don't think the prior government that could envision flying airplanes into buildings on such a massive scale. But
that turns out not to be true. U.S. military planners did envision and practice those very scenarios. As reported by USA Today, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, conducted exercises with fighter jets, simulating hijacked planes flown into the World Trade Center in the 2 years before the attack.
Yeah, so you got the hijack exercises, and then you have George Bush lying. It's like, has he ever not said a lie?
Well, I'll just give you a flavour of one of the drills that was planned on the 31st of August 2001. Now, this was by the US Department of Transportation. It was a hijacking exercise. Okay, so this was the US Department Transportation Crisis Management Center. Now, it drilled some hijacks. Now, this included, this is very important, we can touch on this down the line. This included simulated cell phone calls. Now, you don't hear this mentioned very much, but this particular drill it included those type of activities of simulating the cell phone calls. Okay, so you don't hear that mentioned very often in relation to the hijacking type of drills that they do. But there's also another thing. We've got to understand the military lingo a little bit to do with the the drills, because when they're talking about real world and exercises, to us we may think that they're on about when the trade centre's going up, that they're on about in the real world, and that's not the case in military lingo and language. Real world means in their world of what's going on, and that can be in the scenario, of military exercises. A real world exercise is exactly what it is.
Wow.
So when you hear all the chitter chatter on the tapes, and they're going, "Is it real world?" They're not referring to our world; they're referring to their world, and that's what people need to differentiate a lot. Because just to let you know that, because it's quite an important point that I'll come to later on.
No, that's great. That's great. Okay, I just had there's something going on in live chat. Paul Loveless accidentally put Sunny G in a timeout and deleted the messages. How do I put it back on? Okay, so someone's got kicked out.
Right. Okay.
No, someone put on a timeout in the live chat. If you can see my. So their comments were deleted. Paul Loveless, can you take her out? I think it's her or him, Sunny G. How do I? Okay, I don't know how to deal with that. How does a flimsy aluminum tube have an exit through concrete and steel? No, that's a good question. But the thing is, there's also a giant explosion. So I
want to come to that nose out at some point, because
yeah, I've actually saw your I've shared one of your debunking of that nose out. I think it was from your conspiracy cuber, someone that was saying that it was
conspiracy cuber. Yeah.
So he had that one. So we can we can get to that as we go. Let's see what else we had here. Okay, so this was the agency planned exercise. Yeah, so like you were saying, this is the real world versus their world. Stuff. So agency planning exercise on September 11th built around a plane crashing into a building. This was one of the agencies literally had the World Trade Center. I think it was
in crosshairs. Yeah.
Was it World? Yeah.
So if you just want to preface that a little bit, because when the only way, from what I've now been at this quite a while with this evidence and stuff, and all these sort of commission sensitive documents that I've acquired over the years, and there's thousands of them, is just to preface that the only way you can make sense of these plane crashes, alleged plane crashes on 9/11, is when they fit around a operation or some type of exercises that was going on that day. Because there's a lot of other evidence around which makes no sense until you put it into that category of the possibility of was these part of some type of training exercise? That's gone rogue.
Yeah, that is an interesting nugget, and this is also similar to the other events as well, similar to the London Tube bombings,
Absolutely, yeah.
where they're doing some there. And I had actually an upload. Let's go now. Easy London. Let's see if we could find this. Share this tab. Let's see if we could find this. Yeah, so during the 7/7 bombings, Peter Power told the BBC that same night that his company was conducting an exercise involving the exact same bombing scenario at the exact same time and place as occurred in real life. Let's play this video quickly just to grasp.
Attacks on the underground issue. Today we were running an exercise for a company. Bearing in mind I'm now in the private sector. And we sat everybody down in the city, 1,000 people involved in the whole organisation, but the crisis team. And the most peculiar thing was we based our scenario on the simultaneous attacks on the underground and mainline station. So we had to suddenly switch an exercise from fictional to real. And one of the first things is, get that bureau number. When you have a list of people missing, tell them. And it took a long time.
Just to get this right, you were actually working today on an exercise that envisioned virtually this scenario.
Almost precisely. I was up until 2 o'clock this morning because it's our job, my own company, Advisor Consultants. We specialise in helping people to get their crisis management response. How do you jump from slow time thinking to quick time doing? And we chose a scenario with their assistance, which is based on a terrorist attack because they're very close to a property occupied by Jewish businessmen. They're in the city, and there are more American banks in the city than there are in the whole of New York. A logical thing to do. And I've still got the...
I was going to say, how extraordinary today must feel for you as it unfolds. You mentioned a few moments ago there our experience with Irish Republican terrorism.
Yes.
And of course, it was very different, wasn't it? Because however perverted their behaviour, the IRA believed itself to have some sort of code of honour and tended to issue warnings, although of course they often came late to do any good.
All right.
Exercise for...
All right, so that was an interesting nugget there. And let's just see what the next is on the thingy. Okay, share this tab. And yeah, you could also feel free to chime in whenever. I just want to, there isn't that much notes here that I've had. The next one was, so this International Center for 9/11 Accountability. This is from the 9/11 Revisionist. So he's made this, and he's hoping to put all of our stuff there, and we could also like put our stuff there too. So yours as well if you want to join this this website that he has initially. It's coming soon. But have you ever heard about the International Center of 9/11 Justice, the new one that came out?
No.
Yeah, so this one right here, if you remove the A, it's all these disinfo agents that show up. Like this guy here, they always promote, again, they promote explosives and so on, thermite, and Building 7, so on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but the thing is, this is like the new version of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, but it's like they just created it last year. So 9/11 Revisionist is creating this one here, but for us, where we basically call out all those clowns and so on, and we could also put just real stuff. So this would be a good place also to archive all your work in the future as this goes on. All right.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my work was done pre 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Just to let you know that. So.
Oh, but yeah, it's still good.
So a lot of it seems as if I'm putting new stuff out. A lot of it was done prior to that, you know, even before the COVID thing, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Definitely, guys. I've seen some of your work way before, especially with debunking the CGI stuff. Because like the CGI one is just brutal looking at it. It's like so easy to debunk. Or you can show them 9/11.
Yeah, I did a whole lot on that. Yeah.
I'm getting a bunch of messages here. Okay, so the next setup here, we're just gonna follow through here, and where's the noise coming from? I'm getting like a noise. Oh, it's from here. Mute it. I'm gonna mute this site. All right. So the next setup is this was actually when we had an email discussion with Paul. So this was that Flight 11 was still airborne allegedly.
Yeah,
after it hit the WDC. So this was one thing you wanted to. I think you mentioned you wanted to discuss and show them basically all the official data and then see where we land there. And
Well, just to fill out on that, there's some issues which with that flight, not just some of them I've mentioned to you, but there's one to do with the actual gate it pushed off from. So yeah, so I'll just mention about that. There's quite a lot of discrepancies about that, whether it was pushed away from gate 26 or gate 32. Now the official story is it pushed back from gate 32, and that does correlate with some of the ground control communications saying that it pushed back from gate 32. However, we've got testimony from interviews that were conducted by the FBI, part of the investigation. Now, in particular, there's a person called Wayne Kirk, and he was a cleaner on that flight. He cleaned Flight 11 on the morning. Although he doesn't specify which gate he was cleaning Flight 11 at. He did say that it was very, very unusual because when he finished cleaning the plane, there was no crew gathered. There's one or two crew people gathered. That was it, which was highly unusual. And it was getting on in time where you should have had all the crew there getting ready to help embark the passengers onto the plane, get the passengers on board, which is highly unusual. The other thing is, regarding the phone calls, you only had two major phone calls, and they're both from air flight attendants, Betty Young and Amy Sweeney. There is another phone call that Sarah Lowe, which is not very well known, but the main two are Betty Young and Amy Sweeney. Now, there is a few problems with that as well. So, but I won't go too much in that, although she does specify, both of them specified they were on Flight 12 to begin with.
wow.
Which is very odd. Although I know the pendulum flight back would have been Flight 12, so whether they're under stress and they said that, but there's a bit of a problem with their phone calls. But I won't go into too much about that. We'll stick on this because that's an interesting area there you brought up with this Major Kevin Nasifany. Now, when 11 allegedly crashed at 8:46, he thought they'd started the drill too early, an hour early, which is 9:46. Okay, so again, we got people who are aware that there's drills taking place now, which similar scenario, planes crashing into buildings, hijackings. Now, the thing is with Flight 11, at the time of the crash, they didn't have what they call the emergency locator transmitter. It didn't go off. Didn't go off when that plane crashed. Okay, now, which is unusual when you put it in the totality of all the planes, not just when you look at them singly with the ELTs. We'll just stick on Flight 11. Now, the ELT for that flight, actually, which they said was picked up over in Manhattan, actually went off 2.5 minutes too early. Now, we could say, oh yeah, well, the pilot, the hijacker or whoever, if they were capable, they manually set the emergency locator transmitter off, the ELT. But as admitted by Paul Thumster, which he was interviewed in October the 1st, 2003, for the commission, part of the memorandum for the record investigations with the FBI and for the 9/11 Commission. Now, he even states you cannot manually set off an ELT on a 767, Boeing 767s. It's in his document right there. Probably can't see it, but it's admitted in that document. And he's on record with that now. That's quite a significant problem for the commission investigation. Which let me just say, these documents wasn't released until 2009, by the way, so it's been well kept, a secret for 8 years, and they only come out because of the freedom of information push to get them released, and there's thousands of them.
Did you file any of the Freedom of Information request, or?
I didn't. These were filed by a lot of people quite some years back. I've just managed to acquire a lot of them. Well, practically all those documents that were released in that big file dump.
Okay. Yeah,
So I've got like a repository of it's all digital, mainly.
Yeah.
I've got paper versions, but not all of them.
So that'd be good to have access there. And let's just read some of the comments here. So Paul is saying that you and him disagree on the ELT issue. Mark thinks it's suspicious that an ELT activated early, and Paul says submitted that an ELT was an inadvertent activation, as are 99% of ELT activations on one tool.
That's true. That's absolutely true what Paul's saying there. However, the problem I've put is if you're looking at all 4 flights, let's just say, and there's a 5th ELT over in Ann Arbor, by the way, in near Michigan, which was quite suspicious circumstances, which I'll go into later. But the problem you got is you've got flight 11, the ELT went off 2.5 minutes too early. Flight 175, that went off over 4 minutes too early before it crashed. You've got flight 77, no ELTs, and that's admitted in the document at all when that crashed. And then we've got United 93, no ELT at all when that crashed. So you've got none being activated and you've got none actually being triggered on impact. So it's sort of...
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
What's going on with these flights, Why aren't you getting an ELT trigger, at least for, so out of 4 of them, you've had none on impact. Now, that the totality of that is strange, to say the least.
Yeah, and Paul says the fact that there are 4 or 5 of these issues is suspicious. So that is definitely something. A lot of it is that it's also you also have to combine it with the crash physics, which is again it's hard to state it on YouTube, but it's not mainstream physics. Yeah, it's not of a solid steel wall and an aluminum plane just somehow going in and then with a delayed explosion. The big what I was thinking about is the delayed explosion. I think is the biggest giveaway. So you have that plane, and then it goes in smoothly, and then there's a delayed explosion. So to do that conventionally, you need some sort of something like a bunker buster, and also here I'll share this article soon with I'll share that article soon on other revisionists. But this one I'll show the bunker. I'm not saying that these are bunker missiles, but what I am saying is that there's similar dynamic here. So like you saw, so here's just a regular bunker buster. It would go through the reinforced concrete and then explode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then all of these have similar setup here. It goes in with no deceleration and then explode. But also this is one. I actually realized a bit later. So this starts glitching out as well.
Yeah.
It says, look at the bottom left. It has field interference right here.
You've also got field interference in the other tower as well at that time. If you look on other videos, you'll see that even though that alleged plane is impacting on that tower, it also causes some type of explosions in the other tower.
Yeah.
You want to call them explosions? It causes something.
Yeah, we'll call them explosions. They're exploding. It seems, but so something is up. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show was so this right here. This is related to that International Center of Justice. This is from the disingenuous search for 9/11 justice. And again, there's that the guy with the weird hair. And this is
Oh yeah.
yeah. You saw the one with the Krusty the Clown character. This guy here, he's wearing a hat now. Actually, he's wearing a hat right here. He's wearing a hat, and this is the article. This is the article right here.
Oh yes, yes.
And there's his hair. See this hair right here?
Yeah.
But then in the website, he's wearing a hat, so it doesn't look like too much of a clown. And I will just share this in the chat stream. All right. Okay, so 9/11, the speeds are nominal. Aircraft's downward trajectory. No, the aircraft are going flat. They're downward slowly. The 9/11 speeds, on my view, are impossible for conventional planes, and they also did a bank turn. Like in the second flight, I think it was 175, or the second tower. It does a sharp turn. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a sharp turn at 500 miles an hour, and the wing didn't knock off. And there's footage of planes going crashing just by like 200 miles an hour, and just like much less G forces. Okay.
Yes. There is issues with what the planes on. Well, United 175. There's a lot of issues with the actual the dynamics that plane, the aerodynamics with that plane, which is questionable. Now, Boeing are on record when they were contacted by Jeff Hill about the speed, which has been identified. I think there was by 5 different organisations, including Richard D. Hall's flight radar analysis, which precisely got the speed down. I think it was 586 miles an hour. Now, that to be banking in that fashion at 700 feet, or sea level, as they say, is quite something, because them engines would not be powerful enough. So they're not powerful enough to get the air through what's so dense at that altitude. It was very likely it could have tore those engines off. Now, this is brought up in a lot of the documents, or at least one of them that I've got, that this is actually brought up in these commission sensitive documents, which again, even that was questioned. Now, a lot of people don't talk about that because, again, that's official evidence there, what they're talking about the structural integrity of the plane at that sort of speed and altitude. It's being questioned. So it's not wrong for us to question that.
No, yeah, that's for sure.
And we got the American Airlines flight 587. Now, that was coming down at a low altitude, and he was doing the action with the rudder, which was the wrong action, unfortunately, and that sheared off. Now, the other thing was, when it was coming down further into lower altitude, where it's a lot more dense, it completely ripped the engines off. Those planes, it completely ripped the engines off.
There was a good banking turn. This one, this is from Wolf Clan Media's old website.
Yeah.
And he has a GIF showing the bank turn. That's the one that's a bit of a giveaway. And another part is there's literally people waving inside the impact zone.
yeah. And we've also got Stanley Primuth.
Yeah.
Now, he was actually he's in the plane coming at him, didn't he? The second plane, and survived.
Yeah, and you also have like the weird image where it has a whole bunch of its stuff disappearing, and wings disappearing.
Oh God, yeah, I've done quite a lot on that.
Which over
show you later on.
Oh, a Methyl Miner saying, have we gone over the have you gone over disappearing wings yet? Not yet. We're actually looking at that right now. There's a disappearing wing. Right when you said that, it's right here. There's one of them. And what I wanted to show was this part. Okay, but also weird bendings of the stuff here.
Well, that actual second circular one there, now that column is pinched.
Mm-hmm.
If you look close, it's pinched in. I think this is one of the ones I outlined. I think, and that's not that's impossible.
No, yeah,
You're
definitely.
not going to pinch a column.
Okay, this is like a extremely in-depth video here. I just wanted to find that he had a GIF of the bank turn.
Have you just gone past it? No.
Did we get past the banking turn? There's more stuff here. No, I don't think we passed it. We will find it. Yeah, okay, this is some of the bodies too. This was Pentagon bodies.
Yeah, that's something I discovered. That was that they
Wow.
they was burnt looking,
Yeah.
but the clothes were completely intact.
Yeah, so he has his clothes still on.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be burnt, and
Yeah, a lot of people suffered problems with their arms as well.
this is
Look at the arms.
this is an actual person.
Yeah,
Oh, look at the burn. Yeah, so his flesh is burned, his skin, but his clothes are seemingly fine.
yeah.
Yeah, this is I've never seen this photo. This is
Clothes are flammable, folks.
yeah
Clothes
that
are flammable.
and his skin is just peeled off only.
And look at the arms. This is what a lot of people speak about is the arms. And if you look at some of the weaponry that they used in Iraq, a lot of people's arms look like that.
Yeah, that is absolutely brutal. This is another person just turned into like
I've got an even worse one than that.
yeah.
There's the ones in Iraq. Look.
Yeah, his face is burned, but his clothes aren't.
Yeah, look at the arm. Look at
Yeah,
the
the arm is literally identical. This is a bit nasty.
What did they speak about at the World Trade Center? They said his arms the skin was falling off.
Yeah.
And they ran in after the first
Yeah, this is a
flying event.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal. And there's the toasted cars at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is brutal. I can't believe there's no bank turn though. And then this was the WTC 6 and OKC.
Yeah, the Pimura building.
Yeah. This article's still going. This is why you gotta make sure it's okay. I think it might be somewhere in here then. Okay.
We one of mine there, yeah, with the two things as well.
Mm-hmm.
A few slides of mine in there. I didn't know he'd done it, that.
Yeah, this was a while ago. I think this is Alexander Baker. Interesting.
Oh yes, we got a whole thing with.
Okay.
Now, Ghost Gun is very interesting. Actually put an interview with Stefan Grossman on my BitTube channel.
I'm just gonna find the bank turn. Okay, so he shows these ones here glitching out the other building. Yeah. But there was that the bank turn is the key one, and then there's that Judy Wood did a little talk about comparing it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. Okay, share this.
You might find that on my BitTube channel. The Judy Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to, I've archived a lot of videos and stuff.
Yeah. It's hard to search. Do you think would it be on YouTube as well?
It may not. May not. I don't think so. It'll be on BitTube.
Just what's the bank?
If you click on that, if you click on the links there where it says 2 more, it'll take you straight to my BitTube channel.
BitTube.
Second one down.
Okay.
So if you scroll down through the videos, it throws up.
Yeah. So here's the. I'm here now.
Yeah,
I was just looking.
I'll see the plane in a minute. Carry on.
Yeah. Which one did you want to have a look at?
If you keep scrolling down.
Yeah. There's just
Hang
no.
on. Yeah, let the thumbnails come up. That's it.
What is it? Title?
Judy Wood.
It might have been from yours then. Judy Wood.
You just keep going down. I upload it. You'll see a picture of a plane.
Yeah.
Just let them pop up.
Yeah, I'm just holding down. This is your earliest one, April 11th.
Yes, there it is.
587. Okay, so this is 587, and this was flying much slower, and this was literally on 2001. which is quite fascinating. Okay, and I'll share this tab. What you could do is if you write embed, because there's no like sideways. Okay, now you can full screen it. Okay. Also, just before we go further, so I just got a donation. Well, I had it a while ago. I just checked my email. So a donation from Pamela Ronning. Thanks for the PayPal donation. Epic stuff. Thank you. All right. So let's continue further.
Flight 587 out of Manhattan, a little over 2 months after, or 2 months and a day after the 9/11 event, same year. Do you remember it crashed? Everybody thought it was another terrorist event. It took off right behind a big Japanese airliner, and it was a little bit too close and had turbulence. That wasn't so much the problem as the less experienced pilot had learned that you make the rudder go to get out of turbulence. And he went, hard left, hard right, hard left, and he tore off the tail of the airplane. Now, that was just with air forces. They're at about 2,400 feet, about twice the height of the World Trade Center. Not only that, as the pieces started coming down, the engines were torn off the plane. What does that tell you about a plane supposedly going twice the speed and banking a tight turn into the towers?
It couldn't do it. It couldn't do it.
Exactly, and the best evidence, we have a demonstration right there.
American Airlines Flight 587. Yep. Provides more evidence that particular maneuver, if they had tried it, they would have sheared off the tail section.
Yeah, this guy was just making the tail, a really hard turn, and we've always been told that you can't make an airplane go that fast at sea level, but this is perfect evidence of it. The air is so thick there, but also that it tore the engines off of the plane on the way down. They landed before the main body did.
There you go. No one is. I don't think anyone has made that connection between American Airlines Flight 587. That crashed in Queens, by the way, and that happened just a couple months, as you say, after 9/11.
Yeah, it was the 12th of November, 2001, and it shows. I mean, this plane was in perfect condition, and is unfortunately the first officer had been taught to, if you're in turbulence, you use the rudder hard, and he went hard to the right, hard to the left, hard to the right, and the tail came off the plane. It ripped it off. It was like 1.5 times the maximum design strength of the bolt. And once you lose a tail, you're done.
Right. But couldn't one just say, well, but the planes that flew into the World Trade Center towers weren't going hard right, hard left. They just flew straight in.
But they had this big bank. Remember, they came down this big bank.
This right here, this starts banking at like 550 miles an hour.
Right, okay.
But also they're going, okay, the fact that the engines were torn off of Flight 587, the engines landed, well away from where the main thing landed. They landed first, so they were torn off. The fact they were torn off by the plane moving fast through the air shows that the World Trade Center quote planes would have been coming apart. Their engines would have been torn off. Plus, they're coming through this tight bank, for, whatever speed.
Right.
And if you go twice the speed, it's like 4 times the stress.
Okay. So were the planes a hologram? What do you think?
I think it was some kind of image thing. Messing with image, from what I've seen, that you have, and a lot of people have done, more research into that. But I know depending on the angle of the image, it looks totally different. Pencil plane or a chubby plane. The big one that hit me like within a day or two of the event was I call it the black whale image. If you're looking westward at 9 in the morning, that sunlight's got to reflect off of that body somewhere. And it wasn't. It's like a black hole. So when light doesn't do what you think it's supposed to do, you start wondering about what's happening with the optics. But people make assumptions. That's real easy for people to do. Especially they're shown this deal about airplanes, and the building goes poof, and they assume that the airplanes caused the poof of the building, and that's all it's needed, and then they're done. So that's what happens when you use assumptions.
Yeah, she summed that up really well, really. Your audio's off.
Audio, sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
I muted just so it doesn't play my voice while I was playing it. Yeah, so that's epic stuff here. Yeah, so.
So can I just say, so just one thing, just as I said, preface this. The 9/11 was not your normal day in history in aviation. And what I mean by that is you had more exercises going on involving these type of scenarios than ever in history before. But that's not how it's presented to you. They always say, oh, it was just a normal day, lovely sunny day. No, you had so much going on behind the scenes with the military and the exercises. Aviation wasn't on a normal day.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%.
I just wanted to put that in because the exercises are a key area of what was happening and what went down in,
Yeah, there's even.
I know we've got parameters what we can talk about. Really,
yeah, there's even a Wikipedia page on it. United States government operations and exercises on December 11th. December 11th, the North American Aerospace Defense Command (NORAD) was involved in an ongoing operation which involved deploying fighter aircraft to northeastern North America. The U.S. military NORAD had also planned to conduct several military exercises and a drill being held at the National Reconnaissance Office, the Department of Defense agency. The operations, exercises, and drills were all cancelled following the 9/11 attacks. All right. Yeah. So they have a whole list here. There's probably more than this as well.
Yeah.
These all just
and there's that one I mentioned, which was on the 31st, which had simulated cell phone calls.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah,
that's pretty ridiculous.
Which is
show the
yeah.
flyers.
I mean, just if you want, just quickly, I can sum up a few things to do with those 4 flights, just to put it out there, just a quick rundown. So 11, we've mentioned about the ELT not going off on time when it should have done. We also have it still airborne at 9:21, and you can hear that on the NORAD tapes now. That particular, if you look at the map, it places it. The coordinates were 5 miles past the to the west, I think it was, of the North Tower.
Wow.
So it's completely off course, and the last coordinates show that. Now, the thing is, when they give that coordinate, they also give you a tail number as well, so you and the flight identification number.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're looking at, they're telling you what flight that is and what plane it is.
Yeah, and you made the video over here on it. I think you had locations in here. The locations is the interesting part here. So this is a flight. Last flight 11 coordinates is over here.
Yeah, that's correct.
And there's about 6 miles.
Towers are there.
Yeah.
You've got JFK Airport round there as well, where that box is.
Yeah. And then JFK should be where's
just
JFK?
Across. It's covered by the box, I think.
Yes, possibly.
Yeah, it's around that vicinity. But the problem you got then is, what business did Flight 11? What's it doing heading down towards Washington? Well, not a lot of people know this, that it was suspected there was a training exercise going on because the Secret Service put a report in, an emergency call, to say that the White House had been hit by a plane.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Right, and they even sent a structural team out, and when they got there, nothing had happened.
Wow.
Now, the Secret Service has and does in the past, pre 9/11, ran scenario exercises of plane crashes at the White House. So, and I'm just putting this out of speculation now. When Major Nasifani turns around and says, "Oh, the drill's not meant to start the exercise for another hour." Well, the Secret Service report of a plane crash at the White House was 9:46, which is an hour after the first plane 11 was meant to have hit the tower. So was that plane, which was, it's all spoken about in the commission report, by the way, they call it a phantom plane.
Yeah.
Was that part of a drill that was heading down there, past, went past the towers and went down, which was part of this exercise, what was unfolding at the White House. Now, this is possible because they sent all the fighter jets in that direction for this phantom plane. Some people have tried to say, oh, it was Flight 77. No, because Flight 77 wasn't even, they sent them in the wrong direction to Flight 77, and 77 wasn't even known at that point, about at 21 minutes past 9. So they are definitely referring to Flight 11. But they can't say that, obviously, because it's so damning. And there's a thing you've shared in the email, which they were even looking at bringing sort of charges about.
Yeah.
But they gave it a tail number and they gave it also a flight number.
Yeah, so that's interesting how they gave that. So they gave that, and if you see so the tail number right here, N34AA flight 11.
Yeah, November 33, 4 Alpha. Yeah.
And like I was saying, so the people that said that, like this guy here, American Airlines still airborne. The first guy, Major Kevin Naspen, he says at one point he's heading towards Washington. Okay, I think we need to scramble Langley right now, and I'm gonna chase this guy down if I can find him. And right here, so where is the charges? So Thomas Keene, the former New Jersey governor who led the commission, describes what his panel had been told by the North American Aerospace Defense Command as just so far from the truth. To this day, he said, commission members still don't know why NORAD told us what they told us. So he's saying, why is Flight 11 still airborne? John Farmer, a senior counsel of the commission, told Vanity Fair that the military story was a whole different order of magnitude than spin. It simply wasn't true. And I think they want to charge as criminal. Yeah, so members and staff of the 9/11 Commission believe the discrepancies may have been part of a deliberate effort to mislead, and they discussed asking the Justice Department to consider criminal charges against senior members of the military, source told it. Or they could have just been really telling what they want to do. And it goes here. Colonel Robert Marr, the commanding officer in charge of NORAD's Northeastern Division, said no deception has taken place. I can't think why they'd want to spin that. He told Vanity Fair. In the end, 9/11 Commission did not refer the NORAD officials to the Justice Department, but passed the matter to the Inspector Generals of the Pentagon and Transportation Departments, who act as government watchdogs. Both departments said reports were forthcoming. So if you could have access to those reports, that'd be great to have.
Yeah. So, like I say, it's very strange how they were running. It seems that there was something going down at the White House, that they'd send a structural team out and the fire people, and the report was from the Secret Service that a plane had hit the White House.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of confusion going on.
Don't forget, they could not account for that plane for a long time. That crash, wasn't confirmed immediately that it was 11. And there's one reason that possibly could be, because it was still in the air, like they've said.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, if you just move on to as quickly to 175, just quickly, you've got problems there, because we're told by the commission in the official narrative is that took off from Boston at 8:14 a.m. Now, you go to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, which collects all the ACARs off the plane, what that's sending, and there's no human intervention with this. This is all, you know, works like when the wheels leave the ground, it does the sensor, and all that is recorded. It's not done anything to do with human. Now, in the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, it says United 175 took off at 8:23. That's that's a glaring discrepancy. And let me just say, the same Bureau of Transportation says that it reflects in their data, and they've tried the best to cover it up to conceal this. For Flight 11, it says it never even left the ground.
The flight
it shows it was cancelled, and that's with 77 as well. So you've got this discrepancy now. Like I said, you got the ELT with Flight 175 going off 4.5 minutes too early, but not even activating at the time of the crash either. So you got that discrepancy. You've also got that Flight 175, the ACARS message, which the ground station that it was communicating with was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So it was more over Pittsburgh way at the time of the crash.
Yeah, that is very, very interesting. Let's see here. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia of the how the timeline events. So you had Flight 11 from Boston straight to the North Tower.
Yeah.
And then you had what's the next one here? Okay, so the South Tower one you had Flight 175 also leaving from Boston. So you got both of them leaving from Boston, and then it does the 360 goes through here. And that's when you said that they might have mistaken Flight 11 for Flight 175, or that's what the mainstream narrative was. And then you had Flight 93 is from New York going, and then it lands here.
Yeah. Now again, Flight 93, you've got problems with the takeoff. We're told it took off at 8:42. The ACARS data, what's sent through to the BTS, shows it took off at 8:28. And there's an eyewitness, again, who was in the queue, Stephen Miller, who was a pilot. He seen Flight 175 take off. Now, he had to allow the 3 minutes grace because of the wake vortex, the vortices, that you can't take off behind the plane because it can cause you quite bad turbulence and problems. Now, his plane took off. So Flight 175, according to the BTS, took off at 8:23. His plane took off at 8:29. Now, if it took off at 8:14 and he's not describing his wait was 3 or 4 minutes, it fits more with the 8:23 takeoff. Not the 8:14, but they've stuck with the 8:14. Now, there is other things I can't go into on this interview because we don't want to get struck off of why that's happening, you know.
Yeah.
Again, like you say, it's not over by where it's crashed. It's in another part of the country.
Wow.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You know, that's not like just next door at the time of the crash. It's quite far out. Now, the ACARS, roughly, or the signal with the ground stations, would normally have 200 radius back then. So we're talking 2001 technology. Things have moved on a bit now, but you know, the radius, so it was being pinged in those ground stations, which was feeding down the down and uplinks to Flight 175 with the ACARS addressing system. That again, that's all on record.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the stuff I haven't
and don't forget, Matthew. If you look at the MSNBC news footage, they show Flight Explorer, which is a real-time FAA in conjunction with FAA back then, of all the flights that were still in the air. And they run the cursor, live on telly they run the cursor over one of the planes, well, a few of the planes, and they've run it over this one in particular. And what flashes up the information? It's flight 175.
Do you have that video? Do you have that video on your channel?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Now, that's at 10, and it's over Connecticut at 10.
What's the
now,
title?
This is,
do you know?
it would be MSNBC flight 175. I would have thought, still in the air.
MSN? I don't see any of the MSNBC.
If you scroll up, you'll come across it. It is on there. Just take it time. Let the thumbnails.
Oh no, it should be all because I can search the title, so I can get to it right away. So
Oh, there you just passed it. You just passed it.
Okay, where is it?
Just passed it.
But yeah, if you could just something I could search, because if I search MSNBC, it's not there.
So if you go up slowly, not as fast, because the thumbnails are not showing to me.
No, I know. I'm just saying that. Do you remember the title? Anything that was in the title? I could just jump to.
It's such a long time to put on. You'll see the news thing on there on the thumbnail.
Okay. Let's have a look here.
It would be near one of these, I would have thought. If not, I'll find it. Hang on, I'll go on my BitChute and find it for you.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. Like, what's the title? It says plane.
I can't. It's that long ago since I uploaded it. It'd be something
Airborne?
like still in. Yeah, like UA 175.
Oh,
still
so
in the air,
okay, so it says 175.
I can tell you where to go. I can tell you which one down by.
UA 175.
Might be on YouTube. I might have put it on there if they allowed it.
Okay. Yeah, the Wake Vortex is interesting. Official evidence and data might be in this. How ELTs are detected.
I've got the exact title. It's 9/11 aeroplanes. Flight 175 was still in the air on MSNBC at 10:25 a.m. on 9/11.
There's no.
If you scroll down, it was on the 26th of November 2021. I uploaded that.
Okay, 26.
Yeah.
November 26, 2021.
Yeah. There's a few videos on that particular day I uploaded.
Okay. You've uploaded.
There it is. You're right there. There it is. You've just gone past it.
Oh, so you put MS and then there's a apostrophe. Oh, that's why. Okay, so MSNBC. And the flight's 175, you had the quotation mark, so MS.NBC. So,
that's not a good way for searching.
Yeah, so if you could just search that, if you just edit that on your time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to click embed. Okay.
They're probably stopping it playing, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not playing. So that's why make sure it's on Odyssey, Rumble, and everything. BitChute sometimes they just don't play, or if a video's old or not getting views, they just don't play it. Okay, so it's not showing. What we'll try to do is see on your YouTube maybe.
I've got it. Possibly is on YouTube if you copy him.
Okay.
I may have had to change the title for YouTube, but he's probably on there.
Whoops.
I'll find the date.
Yeah, I'll just go here. Yeah, Flight Explorer.
Yeah.
We've just received word that
all
inbound international flights to the United States are being diverted to Canada. The government will not allow them to land here in the U.S. They are being diverted to Canada.
Did you manage to find
we've been
it?
Reporting,
Sorry.
in the US.
No, I was playing it. Sorry. Let me know because I have to click the share tab each time.
We've just received word that all inbound international
You can hear
flights
it?
to the United States
Yeah.
are being diverted to Canada. The government will not allow them to land here in the U.S. They are being diverted to Canada. As we've been reporting, all airports in the U.S. have shut down departures. We were watching on our Flight Explorer. I don't know if we can put it on the air right now. This is a system in which we can actually look at the number of airplanes in the air. Normally, this would be dotted with little blue airplane figures. Look at how few we're looking. It looks like only 3 over the immediate New York City metropolitan area. Just a handful. Airplanes in the air are being allowed to land at their destinations, and then that is it. Now, keep in mind, the planes you're looking at here are only those that are participating in...
Yeah, Flight 175.
Yeah, come
so there's
up,
Flight 175. Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Flight 175.
Those that are participating in the
I do an
radar
announcement
system.
on it in a
Airliners. This does not include anybody in a small Cessna or a small plane who might be...
That's me on the video stopping that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah, let's look closer again.
So that's interesting. Yeah, so there's put the title, but also this MS.
There you go.
Okay.
So what I did, I inverted the colour so we can bring it up just to make sure what was in the box.
Yeah.
And it's 175.
Flying what's called VFR traffic, where they're just flying below the commercial traffic. But again, these represent commercial airplanes or airplanes that are participating in the FAA system. Just a handful in the skies over the Northeast right now.
What's the stats under it?
Watching continuing NBC News coverage on MSNBC of a series of apparent terrorist attacks on the United States.
Okay, let's see. This clearly shows. Let's see what it says underneath. What does it say? Okay, Boston and destination arrival LAX. Yeah, so that was the destination and arrival.
Yeah, the exact same times as what.
And what's the number underneath here? Do you know?
That's the plane. That is. It's a Boeing 7.
Oh, it's the Boeing 762.
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Oh, 767 or 762? What does that say?
That means it's a 76200.
Oh, okay.
767-200. They abbreviate a lot of things, and this is where you have to get your head around a lot of this stuff, which I've been doing for quite a while.
Yeah. So it was going. Yeah. So 767-200, but the thing it says, yeah. So it just says, I think it says B76 and then 2.
Yeah. Boeing. That stands for Boeing.
Yeah. So Boeing 76, and then yes, Paul's says this is a big deal. Okay. And then UAL 175. That's interesting. I've copied inverted color to get a clearer view.
Yeah, and I do might enhance that. I've got photos, images of that I've stored on my computer, so stuff like that. So
that's epic.
So that plane was. It's either it's still flying about, or a blip or part of the exercise.
All right. So that was interesting. Okay. Well, let's see what we have. I have a few more on my to-do list thingy, and then you could probably share your screen if you want to share some of the stuff you wanted to discuss. Yeah. But I think the first thing I want to talk about is so Chris Hampton has a motorcycle accident, and here's GoFundMe, guys.
Yeah.
So here I Matthew Nas donated $100. I donated 50. Mark Conlon donated too. So guys, this is Chris Hampton.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I thought they were rigging the impact explosion to go off on cue with the missile. No, I have to retract on any missile stuff. Given what you told me that debris could have been planted in the building, that changes my 2 cents on everything. Okay.
If you look at every, the 3 locations which are buildings, or if you want to put it that way, because one of them was into the ground. If you look at them 3 locations, they were all having some type of work done. In particular, the towers, the North Tower and South Tower, on exactly the same places as those alleged planes hit those towers on the floors, right? Now, if you look at the Pentagon, that was also had work done on exactly the same place what was hit.
Wow. So these are things, if you can do you have a video specifically on that?
No, this is a lot of stuff. I've got such a lot of stuff I've never really covered because you
no, I know. Specific things like those are ones that they kind of need to be packaged, and then it's point out if they're that'll be presentation wise. Okay, so Paul Lovell says, "Who is Chris Hampton?" So Chris Hampton, he actually he made the 9/11 alchemy video. That's the most viewed video on my channel, and he got a lot of help from Mark Conlon. Let's go. So if you go on my channel right here, and if you go to videos and you go to the most popular, 9/11 alchemy. This is made by Chris Hampton, and I think the first thing I open up was Millennium, and then there's Mark Conlon in here. You were in here earlier. Where is that? This video. I think I just wanted to get a footage of you. But anyways, this is and there's 1 million views. My only channel, my only video has 1 million views. This is the one I uploaded of Chris Hampton's documentary. So this is one he made. This one, and I just want to see where you were in here, Mark Conlon. Do you remember exactly where? You were here.
Oh God, no! It's a long time ago.
Let's see if I could.
2018.
I'll just have a Conlon.
I actually did probably more work behind the scenes than I'm actually in the
yeah. So here it says Mark Collins. The transcript says that. No, it's Mark Conlon.
Now Mark Conlon's done a great job.
So there's Mark Conlon Blogspot before it was 9/11 planes.
I can't see that on the screen. Is that on the screen? Is it or is it?
Okay, yeah. So Paul Lovell says is having a hard time getting past Flight Explorer showing UA 175. Because that's staggering. Yeah, that's pretty good. But with me, it's just if you just play around with a steel hammer, just a hammer, a sledgehammer. You give me like Morgan Reynolds said, you give me 15 minutes with a Boeing plane. You wouldn't recognize the plane. yeah, you would completely trash it just with the one hammer. All right, so that is that, and you're in there. You haven't aged at all. All right, that's good. Let's continue the next setup. Where's my okay? This one. Oh, sorry. I was okay. Tell me to share the tab. If I'm talking and it seems I'm not there, it means that I forgot to share the tab because each time I got to share the tab to play audio. All right. Okay, so this is, so Chris Hampton is the one who made this 9/11 Alchemy, 1 million views. And like I was saying earlier, you go to my channel, here, share this tab, and you go to most viewed, go to videos, and then click popular, and 1 million views, this 9/11 Alchemy. And this one has pretty much, it's a monster video. It got 1 million views almost all right away, because it wasn't shadow banned, and then it became shadow banned and was gone. All right, and let's see some stuff here. All right, Paul. 9/11 just sent me some info. But anyways, so here's Mark Conlon inside here. He helped make the video. All right, so sorry again. Yeah, so this is the one he helped make the video. And there's Paul. Where did you go?
I think that's from a clip from Richard D. Hall's interview I done when I was on that Rich Planet.
Yeah.
Now Mark Collins.
Yeah, so there you are there, and there's the Andrew Johnson books and Judy Wood book. All right.
If you have a look in the top shelf there, bottom next one down. I'm actually filming from behind.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. Oh.
In case we needed to do some extra shots sort of thing, because we didn't know how the film was panning or stuff.
Yeah. And all right, so another one I wanted to go over was, okay, share this tab. I'm going to start closing a whole bunch of stuff so it's easier to grasp. Okay, I'm going to move this here and close all to the right. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to try to power through. So we've had so far 1 hour and 23 minutes. And 56,
can I just mention one thing?
56 people. We're about to dominate.
Yeah.
Go on.
I just mention one thing. Flight 93 has probably the most evidence, which calls that particular flight into a lot of problems, if you know what I mean. Got to be careful what I say with the official narrative.
Yeah.
And I also had some new evidence, which I've had, again, this is all before 2021, before I had all that stuff going on, with Flight 77 and some unreleased radar, which was come from the DCC. It was on a file that was come under a Freedom of Information Act back 10 years ago. So, I mean, I don't have to mention that now, but I can quickly go through it quickly if you'd like me to.
Yeah. Whatever you think is.
I'll do 93 first, quickly.
Okay.
So again, we got problems with the takeoff time. They say it took off at 8:42. Again, the BTS shows that it took off at 8:28. So we've got a discrepancy right there. Now, we also have with Flight 93 ACARS problems again, and the stations, that's the up and down links with them. Now, at the time of the crash, even though it's showing that it's on a different route away, it didn't turn round, and that's consistent with ACARS messages, ground stations that they're communicating with. So what happens is when the ground station sent up to the plane, it will get like an audio noise to say that it's received the message, and that's picked up. That's admitted as being picked up when the messages were sent. So it was the plane, even though it was still receiving messages. Now it was further over than that shot that it carried on flying, didn't turn round, and it's picked up over Champaign, Illinois, which is nowhere near Pittsburgh. It's a good, well over 500 miles.
Wow.
So that was still getting messages and still airborne after the crash. Now, now you might just say, "Oh, well, that could have been for this or that reason," but the problem is you've got Colonel Marr. He's on record as saying, again, in a lot of these documents, he's on record as saying Flight 93 was actually circling over Chicago. Now, Chicago's nowhere near where it crashed. Okay, so and that's Colonel Marr. Now, the other thing you've got is you've got the air traffic control giving coordinates to Flight 93, saying when you put the coordinates in, it's 15 miles past the crash site in the direction of heading to Washington. Then it's later picked up by Linda Justice. You can hear the recording, and she says Flight 93 is flashing over Hagerstown, which is 65 miles past the crash site. So you can get a good idea of where that plane's heading by that coordinates and what Linda Justice said. Now, something like that I found out was that they filed a new flight plan, and they tried to play it down that it was filed from on board the plane by the pilot, but it had to be. It was filed for, and it's also admitted in their document it was filed for. Now, the thing is, the new flight plan was for Washington, Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C.A. Now, with an estimated landing of 10:28. Now, I've got Excel spreadsheets and flight aware showing that plane landed at 10:28. But the kicker is, how can you have a plane over in one end of the country heading to Washington, which is air traffic control is checking up on, and then you have ACARS messages of another plane identifying as Flight 93 over near Chicago.
Yeah.
So this is why I believe you've got the problem with the two official times of the takeoff times, because I believe from all the evidence, rather than trying to discount one and discount the other, I'm going with the hypothesis that two of those planes must have taken off. Now, we do have an eyewitness called Triton White, who's a footballer. He was told by a stewardess, because they used to come back from football matches from Monday night on the Tuesday morning at Newark Airport, and there was a plane which was embarking some people boarding people on the tarmac. Now, Flight 93 never done anything on the tarmac. It was down the chute, down the runway, or what do you call them?
Yeah.
The jet thing. Anyway, Triton White was informed that the plane the week before was Flight 93, that he observed people being boarded on the tarmac.
Wow.
He's on record as saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a direct quote from him.
Yeah, that's just opening a new can of
So,
worms.
just quickly with the AA-77, this new radar data shows that AA-77 did not turn round. It shows it was heading over Missouri, and it went past over St. Louis Airport, and then carried on near Kansas, turned round and headed back, and then went off radar. Now, all the flights went into radar black spots where these strange occurrences started happening. So whether there was some type of swap or whatever, that's been suggested in the past. But Flight 77 definitely did not turn round and head back. And it also went completely invisible with the radar because they couldn't even track it. But I've also got communication saying, should we put a track on this guy over Missouri? And there's a next to it in handwriting is AA-77 with a question mark. So I firmly believe that they knew it hadn't turned round on the Kentucky border and Ohio. They knew it had carried on, and that's even shown in CNN footage because the plane is still giving off a transponder when it's carried straight on before it was switched off. Mm-hmm. And by the way, in all the exercises, all 46 I've got there,
46
pre-9/11, yeah. Okay. They all have scenarios of switching the transponders off in those exercises.
Wow. Yeah. That's.
I just had to get that in because that's crucial information. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Paul says
far more detailed on my blogs.
Yeah. Paul says the planes would have to turn their transponders off. Yeah, right when you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they also went into, strangely enough, black spot areas of radar black spots.
Yeah, and then let's see. Paul says that there are no radar black spots in the U.S. So unless they just somehow got off.
I think there was in 2001.
Oh yeah, in 2001 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually got their own.
Yeah, their own.
They even admit there was black spots in the commission.
Yeah. As long as they admit it, you were onto something.
Can I just mention something else about Flight 93?
Yep.
That there showing you the altitude. Right.
We could probably make it a bigger screen. Do you have an actual document of that? I could share it on my screen.
I've got it on. This is a print off now. Here he's giving you the time just before it crashes. Right.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Now just note the way it's come down in altitude, and they're saying there it's at 5,000 feet. Now there's an alleged story that was seen by a VFR. And they said it was at 8,000 feet, Flight 93, right? Near the crash site. Yet you look on the Flight Explorer and they've got it at 36,000 feet at exactly the same time.
Well,
again, conflicting information in their own official telemetry data.
Wow. It's mind-boggling. Let's just see here. We have 2 donations right here, actually. So Paul Elvis gave $5. Thank you, Paul. And CHF, another 5. Riley Liger. Let's go, baby. All right. So we're making a few money here. Yeah. This is quite fascinating. So, like I was saying, you are an encyclopedia. I just want to gather all your documents and like present it to do it justice. All right, let's continue. Let's see what we have right now. We have, and then we could see what else is there. So we have 55 people watching. This is one of the records, actually. I think the record is 59, so we're very close to breaking the all-time record.
Wow.
Yeah, because I do think a lot of people do want to, like, this is a topic that is still exciting, and especially because you're not allowed to talk about it. So we'll see how it goes.
I thought people had got bored of it. Because of the COVID thing, like.
This is still, because this one's like cool technology. Like, what's possible is absolutely ridiculous, and I think that they're gonna. One reason for the constant cover up is because it's gonna be used again. That's my take.
Oh, they've already used it again. They're using it again in UFO sightings.
Yeah, we know that. I'm talking about like a big,
Down the
like a
line,
big event,
Yeah.
where they need to cover up quickly. Can't have people thinking that.
Well, if you look at the 1984 Olympics,
Okay.
they've already implanted that type of scenario at the closing ceremony.
Oh, I
Of
haven't.
what we're taught, but I won't go into that.
Okay, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see the next setup here. So Morgan Reynolds RFC against NIST. This one's actually no more games. So Morgan Reynolds actually filed a request for correction, and so he knows Judy Wood well. And you could see his. I'm going to put the link to it. And there's also affidavit from John Lear. I think he was a CIA pilot.
That's right.
And click here to download his legal filings, request for correction. And so Morgan Reynolds requests this to the government for correction for its invalid WTC jetliner animations and analysis, and he basically put the basic physics argument against the planes going in. So the jetliner animations commissioned by NIST for airplane entry, penetration, and fragmentation in WTC-1 and WTC-2, as well as its computer simulations and general analysis of jetliners at the WTC purport to show and or demonstrate the following conditions: complete, nearly intact penetration of the jetliner image into each tower and disappearance from exterior view, nose to tail, length of the aircraft, wingtip to wingtip width of aircraft, near complete shredding and destruction of the jetliner image into small pieces inside each, substantial anyways goes further, no significant deceleration as each goes down, and they show the speeds here. Average 434 miles per hour for the Flight 11. Flight 175 is 542, and so on. And these purported phenomena, as mentioned above and described by NIST and its contractors, are not independently verifiable and do not have a scientific valid basis for making an assumption that simulated conditions could actually have occurred. And so on. Yeah, so basically saying high school physics going on and on. This is a very good paper to have.
It is a good paper, that is. And there's something, just while we're on about the two, what he's filed there, is involving the seismic readings on them two plane crashes. Because and when you compare them to the buildings going to dust, two events. Now, I think it was the North Tower, that impact lasted for 12 seconds in the seismic readings.
Yeah.
Now, when them towers went away, that was 8 seconds, 8 to 9 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. It was faster than
Right.
free fall.
So how does a plane crash cause more seismic interference recording than the actual 500,000 tons falling to the ground?
Yeah. That is true.
So it's the longest ringing seismic reading of a plane crash, yet you've got Flight 93 going directly into the ground, allegedly.
Yeah.
And that only caused a small signal trace. And at the Pentagon, it hardly had a signal. It didn't have a signal at all. All it had was electrical disturbances. And it wasn't even the electrical disturbance, wasn't even at the time of the crash.
Yeah, that's interesting. And similar when you said into the ground, Matthew Dawes actually has. So he's in the house. He says, I still laugh at myself that I didn't question Flight 93 narrative when they said it buried itself deep into the ground. This is a no-brainer, and my psyop-clogged mind didn't get it. Yeah, there's a good GIF I saw where it just teleported. So here's a good GIF, yeah. So
now, if anybody's interested as well, I mean, a lot of my GIFs go, yeah, that's a great one there.
Yeah, so this is what happened.
The thing is, if you study the photographs.
Yeah, and look at the building.
And again, we'll use the official one. Yeah, them trees are that is an effect which we can't talk about on here, unfortunately, because it will be took off. But them trees there's a lot going on with them trees.
Yeah.
And they look like they're smouldering, but they weren't burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And they never ever did grow back properly. And if you look the cottage further down, that was a very, very strange thing what happened to the cottage as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned about the circular holes in the windows there and what they allegedly caused that.
Yeah.
Now,
if you could show some of that, actually, do you want to? I just want to.
Just to mention quickly the other thing, they had some people were levitated quite far away from this alleged crash, which didn't cause much seismic. But one woman, an elderly woman, was in bed and she found herself on the floor.
Wow. Yeah, that's.
While she was asleep, she was levitated out. That sounds absolutely nuts. But there's many cases of that, and there's many cases at the World Trade Center.
Yeah, that's the World Trade
Again,
Center.
it's an area we can't really talk about again because it sounds like completely cuckoo. But
I think it's important. I think it's important. We have to, because like like I talked about before, there's a firefighter that at the WTC, he was scared of the building falling, so he went and ducked underneath his fire truck. And then he gets up and the fire truck's not there.
Yeah,
but he's fine.
Yeah, and David Hanshew, the photographer, he was levitated for a block.
Yeah.
People were also levitated when the plane, I think the second plane, went in their own apartment. They were levitated.
Wow. Yeah, that's mind-boggling. Okay, Ron.
In fact, one of the persons who said that, a woman, was actually interviewed in this country, and she's actually English. She was living in America, and she described exactly what went on in her apartment, the way she was picked up, and she says thrown. But if the plane's crashing somewhere over there, why are you being thrown in your apartment, which is nowhere near where the plane's crashing?
No, yeah, these are absolutely epic testimony. I didn't hear about that one before. That's just.
I actually heard that on the radio when I was going somewhere. You're talking a good few years ago now.
Okay. 9/11. 9/11 revisionist. Okay, he has a video of levitation at Shanksville. Let's go here.
That's a piece of video footage I found.
Okay.
That is a few years ago, and to me, that was significant testimony. What was it? Counts.
Okay, there's some stuff here from 9/11 revisionist. So apparently, no jet fuel in the soil and water at Flight 93 crash site. So that's
none at all. None at all.
Yeah, so there's none in the soil.
Let me just say, if missiles went in there, they carry jet fuel.
Residents close by.
Yeah, can you hear this? Let's play this one. This is levitation effects.
Yeah.
Residents close by talk of how their bodies shook and were lifted.
Heard a big explosion, and it felt like it lifted me right out of the chair. And ran outside.
That plane would come right for me.
They tell similar stories inside Snyder's corner store.
I heard this crash, and it literally took me right off my feet.
Carol Brandt describes what happened to an elderly friend as Flight 93 crashed.
It literally took her off her bed. She was laying down for a nap, and when she woke up, she was on the floor.
All right. Yeah, there it is. A walk up on the floor.
He crashed.
It literally took her off her bed. She was laying down for a nap, and when she woke up, she was on the floor.
Wow.
See, but this is coincidence when you discover these type of things, you see. Now, that store is a good few miles away.
Mm-hmm.
It's a minimum couple of miles. I've looked it up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's ridiculous, yeah.
Nowhere near the crash site. It's 2 miles, that store.
Yeah, so what kind of explosion was that? Or, that's pretty epic. Okay, so let's see. This is all I have. The next ones is the Pentagon light poles. And then we could also discuss your interview with William Rodriguez. So this is
No, I know. I only met William Rodriguez. I never.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Sorry, I got that mixed up. Okay, so we can ignore that.
And I've met Dr. Judy Wood in 2011.
Okay, I met William Rodriguez and Dr. Judy
So
Wood.
2007, I met William Rodriguez.
Wow,
I've got a photo somewhere. I'll have to share it.
Yeah.
I've got my Investigate 9/11 T-shirt on.
Oh no, you shared it with me, so that's the thing. But then you didn't want me to make it public, so I can share it if you want. I have it.
Dr. Judy Wood.
I can share the Judy Wood one if you want me to share it.
It's up to you.
Well, me
I
as
just don't know whether it's interesting for people.
Yeah. I'll share the one with. Oh yeah, you don't have the Rodriguez one. Okay, so I'll share 2 photos. This one is right here. Okay. And I'll just put it here. And why isn't it showing? Sorry. Okay.
That night when I actually videoed Dr. Judy's
okay. There
talk.
it is. There's when you were like strapping young buck. So there's Conlon and Judy Wood, and now we're gonna get to the legendary one. Well, this is pretty legendary. Okay, so this is a legendary truther, and then you have a legendary disinfo agent right here.
Yeah.
I'll show it up. Okay. Yeah, there it is. David Icke. This is with the reptilian king right here. All right, no, that's epic stuff. So now, what else? Yeah, so I wanted to show was this now. All right, close this one. Let's see what the chat said about that footage. Did you guys like that? Okay. So I
don't generally share photographs because I just think people wouldn't be interested in photographs like that.
Oh no, they will. People like a lot of stuff. Okay, let's go here. Embed. This was your recent video on the poles, and this crash test with and then literally getting destroyed by the pole.
Hello there.
That's what we could probably fast forward.
Yeah, you can mute that, yeah.
Yeah, we can mute it. Just hear on talking.
Slow mobile board.
Why is it?
Between this.
Okay, so there it is. So this is from your video. This was a crash test I think they're doing.
Yeah. The FAA, I think it was, wasn't it? The FAA did that crash test.
So you have 2 wooden poles right here.
Telegraph poles.
Yeah, telegraph poles. And this one here just completely destroys.
Is it?
Yeah. And then it doesn't go through. But then the Pentagon one, there's actually supposed to go through 5 poles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and this is
knocks that little rung off as well, they say.
Yeah, so one of the rung came off. How in the world did it get off that? Alright. Okay, yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't so serious, it's laughable, isn't it? That, what we're being presented with.
Yeah. No, definitely. So it somehow knocked that one off.
That's a camera pole, that is. It knocked one of the rungs off and then proceeded to knock another 5 light poles down.
Wow.
And still had its wings intact to crash into the building.
Yeah, so...
That's questionable. Look at the damage on that light pole. There's no way it would have done that.
Yeah, and it twisted here. So this the base.
It's not even consistent.
Which was the base? Would that be the base? Where's the base?
I think the base is up there, and I think that the bottom part is the top.
Yeah, this bottom's the top, and then this side is sliced somehow.
That went on top of that bit there at the bottom there.
Yeah, so on one of those. Okay, so that's the sideline. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so cut off there.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Not just once, but it did it 5 times.
Okay, and this was discussing.
Yeah.
This is fast forward, and this is that other footage is just a bit hard to grasp.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Is this the kind of footage we're being given for Pentagon?
Yeah.
And what I like here, you showed here, it is pinched. So those columns there are all pinched. So what's pinching that? Okay. Restless Native saying, when did Dr. Judy Wood discover this truth? Oh no, she discovered. She knew right away that it didn't look like an actual collapse. But then it took her a while to formulate, I think, the actual justification stuff.
Yeah, molecular. She called it molecular dissociation, didn't she?
Yeah.
I don't hear that much lately.
Yeah, I hear from 9/11 revisionists. always, which is good. Okay, water features. Now that he's sending a bunch of stuff, we will show that soon. But I wanted to show is this, which is good because you had it overlaid, and what the actual mainstream said the damage was. So it literally says that the aluminum tips actually sliced off some of these steel columns.
Yeah, impossible.
Yeah. So it's again
impossible.
That's not possible. Yeah.
And the spandrels.
Yeah, and there's 5 poles that were knocked down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that the wings cut through. Yeah. So 5 of those poles that it said it sliced through, but a regular pole would damage, severely damage. It would slice it off. Okay, so there's 5 there.
You look at them 3 there on the upper.
Yeah.
Thing, and that's the length of the plane. What they've done down there, where them 2 white lines on either side.
Yeah.
Right now, that's meant to be clipping those poles, and they've ended up like that. That's absolute nonsense.
It is.
That's an insult to your physics, you know.
Yeah, no, you could even go here. I'll go Pentagon. It's fun. Just the actual image of a Pentagon. There was just the physics of it. I don't know where that footage is. Only footage. This is the only footage, but like just showing that Pentagon physics. I gotta find that photo. There was have you ever seen that? It was like a meme, but it's not really a meme because what the mainstream actually says that the plane was actually like ground level of the Pentagon line.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that one, people actually think that's what happened. Pentagon plane on ground level meme. I think it was a meme, but it was real. Okay, I'm gonna click here, share tab. Yeah, this one here. So you do realize for that Boeing 757 hit the Pentagon, this is how low would it have to approach. This low. Yeah, how stupid do you think you are? Yeah, this is literally what had to have happened.
Yeah.
And hit five telephone poles.
You see, this is why they tried to say the flight data recorder, right? It doesn't show it even going into that maneuver. It cuts off apparently some distance back. Yeah, and the reason it had to cut off is because you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even its last, even before it cut off, it was showing the height and altitude higher. They would have flown over the light poles and even the Pentagon. None of that roof damage is consistent with the plane crash.
Yeah.
Look at that building.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like that image you showed, it has like a dark spot on that side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's an exit hole like all the way near around there somewhere.
It's on the 3rd one back. The exit.
Oh, it's this one here.
3rd ring back. Yeah.
So we can have a look. I think I sent it earlier.
Did you got them off? You might have them on Facebook. What I sent you didn't. Which
I sent you an image of it, but I got it from here. I got it from. I'll open my personal random. Okay. What is this? This one here. I got it from actually Twitter. This guy here. Let's post a bunch of. Okay, I'm gonna click here. Share this tab. So this is that. So this is that exit hole. Apparently, like all the way. So from here, goes through multiple stacks of buildings, and then there's a hole there somehow.
Yeah.
And look at the windows
here. Those windows,
and the circular holes in the windows. Like the plane inside is damaged, but not around it. Like not that's the edge is still further away.
Very similar to the Deutsche Bank building windows.
Yeah.
Circular holes again, which another indicative of you know what we can't mention.
Okay, so now the person is saying article with the video of strange one. I think that's the one you were talking about. This one, strange fire Pentagon. I have a section here. Pentagon, weird fires at Pentagon. This is the one I think, right here.
Well, a guy called Conspiracy Cuba sent me this.
Oh, he sent you now or this one?
No, he said I uploaded this quite a while ago. It was sent to me
about
by
your
conspiracy
own
theater. They alerted
location
me
at the
to this
moment. We're
video
seeing
years
fires
ago.
at the Pentagon
I
tonight.
got this
don't
from,
think these are. We have no idea whether this is cause for alarm, but you did tell me
that fire come
many,
on?
many
Just
hours
popped
ago
up.
that all the fires at the Pentagon were out, and if you can see your monitor now, they are going again. Do you have the slightest idea what's happening?
They would be up in one of the high roof sections, Peter, where they have successfully put out the fires only to have them reignite again and again in the strange roof section, which is a slate-covered wood roof in this old building, the Pentagon, and they have had an extremely difficult time putting out all those fires.
Yeah, so there's one of the fires. Let's see, 9/11 revisionists had sent more stuff here. 1987, Northwest airplane crashed through light pole with a medium. Yeah, this one has that one. Yeah.
That's a good, another good piece of evidence there.
Yeah, this is included in the 9/11 observable evidence documentary that they showed that there was actual light pole. They just like sliced off the airplane wing, going and again going much slower. You could even see a bunch of these. You can go like literally. Let's go, plane wing damaged by pole. Like these aren't the strongest objects in the world. Yeah, you can literally go see one right here. This one's just going like landing speed. Just go very. This is like just on your wheel speed, and this is slicing through that.
It is just impossible, isn't it? Bird strikes do just as bad damage.
Yeah, bird strike too. And there's another one. Yes, a bird strike. And then what I wanted to show is, it's a bird strike plane. Yeah, it's a bird strike plane. You'll see them all like damages. This is just from a bird, like that. Yeah, just destroying it. Oh, look at that! The blood there too. That's nasty. Yeah. And what I wanted to show was, I think I showed it earlier, but we'll do a YouTube now of a. This was MythBusters. This was that. I think it was that steel versus car. Okay. This was the one that sliced through it. The sled, yeah, a compact rocket sled. Let's see if this just plays it.
Where the front sled's rockets.
I wouldn't exactly call it.
Then some. I've never seen anything go that fast, and then I realized actually that.
Well, this was first a sled. I just wanted to get to the one that they just made a like actual.
A nice clean fusion that implies a weld, you know, nice.
Okay, this was rocket sled, but there was one where they just threw a like one vertical steel and then just sliced the car in half. Like let's say versus car, sled versus car. Steel cut car in half. MythBusters. Yeah, steel cut car in half. There it is. Split car in half.
We're ready to launch.
Tory hunkers in the bunker with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And a strange.
So this is just a vertical steel piece, and there's the car.
Strange, eerie silence settles on the scene. The proverbial.
All right. Method Miner says I gotta go eat dinner, but great stream, guys. Yeah. Thanks, Method Miner.
Hello to Matt as well. Matt, no.
Yeah.
Calm before the storm.
So this
is rocket-powered super plow versus front-engine vehicle going at 500 miles an hour in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now if you watch slow motion.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Wow.
At 75,000 pounds of thrust.
So it's going 500 miles an hour, and again, whether you have the building going 500 miles or the plane, it's the same thing. It's the opposite reaction, mumbo jumbo.
just noticed how the car went backwards.
Yep.
Into
you're gonna see
with the plane.
Yeah, and see the slow motion here. So this car's cut in half, but if you see the slow motion, the steel like column is fine until it hits the concrete slab afterwards. Look at the perfect smooth cut. Yeah, so it cuts it all perfectly smooth. This is and that car is not all aluminum. It's aluminum, some steel, and the engine too. I think the engine was also cut in half. Let's go here. So here is. This is the object, and look when it starts to disintegrate.
It was just shoo.
So it cuts it in half.
The car, we couldn't even see it was split in two until we walked up here because there was just so much dirt in the air. We got up here, half a blue car, half a yellow car.
Here's another
Still
angle.
can't find the wedge.
That's because it's in 1,000 tiny pieces.
Yeah.
After cutting a slice through the car, the solid steel superplow disintegrated on impact with the concrete barrier.
Yeah.
See now the car shoots backwards.
Let's see. Let's have a look at the car.
After cutting a slice through the car, the
and it goes
steel
backwards.
Superplow disintegrated on impact with the concrete barrier.
And it does go backwards.
What's that called? There is transfer.
Momentum
transfer. Yeah.
Yeah, but like what's cool is see this. It's cutting it with very little.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it hits. So that's the thing. What should have happened? What should have happened was the plane does this. That's it.
Yeah.
If they were going to alter the video, wouldn't we have better videos? Yeah. An attempt to model up has an angle on a reflection that appears impossible. Could it be by byproduct? Which Fairchild has an angle reflection appears impossible? Which one is that? CGI. I 100% believe it's been debunked, and it's pushed as it's disinfo being pushed. All right. So the next setup is, So
can I just say something about that? The people pushing that.
Yeah. Go on.
Simon Shack was an early one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got Ace Baker.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at some of their backgrounds, I don't think people would be quite supportive. I mean, Simon Shack's dad worked for the UN, United Nations, so he's not that he's come from a nobody. Not that I'm holding that against him. His brother had connections to the Bin Laden family because of to do with his race car career. Was sponsored by them.
Really?
Yeah. And the other thing is, you've got Simon Shack doing work for the European Space Agency.
Wow.
Right now, in his September Clues film, I've done many blogs over 10 years ago, debunking a hell of a not debunking, showing errors, but he's never corrected those errors. Where he's telling you he exploits parallax a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll exploit that. He also exploits camera optics, which I've shown again in videos which I've made and write-ups, where he'll say the helicopter's not in this shot, so that's video fakery. But he deliberately leaves out to do with the zooming in and out, which I've shown again. I've done numerous things about that, where he deliberately omits portions where the helicopter's in the shot, and when it's zooming out, because of what they call law of optics, the helicopter looks like it disappears.
Yeah.
You can try it yourself with your cameras. It does not recognise, it doesn't register small objects when you zoom out, and it looks like it just disappears. Now Simon Shack has played on that and says that's video fakery.
Yeah, I've
tried
seen
it with the Chopper 5. He's tried it with a hell of a lot of things. Tried it in his 9/11 amateur film and addendum, of which I've wrote fully all about, but he won't correct his mistakes.
Yeah, that's how they are, though. They follow a lot of flat Earth stuff. Follows a very similar setup too. They would lie about a lot of optic stuff, photography stuff, and then make it seem like Earth is flat, as opposed to like literally utilizing a basic principle of a camera.
And one of the biggest videos to come under to be made out, was the Michael Hezekiah one. They said all sorts of things that was not true about that. They said, the location didn't exist. You know, or you know the trees don't match up, and you can I easily show what a load of rubbish that was.
Yeah.
But it's still being pushed today, as if it's true.
Yeah,
He was on the top deck of the ferry next to Carmen Taylor, and I even found out in that Kevin West video exactly where he was standing, which proved my point that those two were on the top deck of the ferry. You can actually see Marco Hezekani in the video.
Yeah, I actually saw your video there. Someone was saying it's fake. I actually saw it like years ago, and because your channel is pretty much the first one I go to whenever someone like if someone shares a video with me about video fakery, I would first see if you had a debunk on it already.
Well, there was OBS was another one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
OBF.
Oh,
You know, just they come up with all these things which just simply were leading you off into nowhere land, which just wasn't true. And then when you send them back and say, "Look, you need to correct this," they won't do it.
Wow, so you actually talk to them, and and then you have Ace Baker faking his death in live radio.
He him and Killtown knowingly said things about the Hezekani video, which had to be. There's no other way to look at it. That was deliberate, misleading people. Why would you do that if you're looking for the truth?
Well, yeah, their
Unless
job
you've
is
got something to lead people away from something else.
Because remember, U.S. military spends almost $1 trillion a year. So some of that money is going to go to these disinfo agents just to muddle up, even if it's like $20.
Well, Ace Baker, he was hired to make that film. I've got the email admitting he was hired to do that film. He didn't make that film off his own bat.
Wow.
Somebody hired him. And if you go to the key, I think it's number 7, part 7, the key, that compositing theory he puts forward does not work when you use Luma key, because it only works because it's a Luma key works with the brightness of the background. Now that flame that comes out where the nose out is wouldn't work. It would turn invisible if you was using Luma key in that footage and to composite the plane. And Ace Baker knew this very well, but he still carried on and pushed that theory.
Yeah,
And I talk about all this in that Richard D. Hall show and Simon Shack.
Yeah,
Now, to me, if you're a genuine truth seeker, you would correct your work and update it like I have. When I've found something or changed my position, I will update it and have the humility to do that. Like the nose out. The nose out is still being pushed as a nose out. You've only got to look at some of the footage. You can see that the nose out wasn't a nose out at all. It was actual dust ejection.
Yeah. That was the conspiracy cuber.
Yeah. Have you got that? Have you got that video? Because that's quite a good video. That was.
Yeah. This one right here. So what's also interesting is Ace Baker. Well, this is also from. It's one of those ones where that chopper video. Then he says that it was fake. No, he says that the plane wasn't there, but he ended up lying about that, saying that he corrected it himself, but then his video still included. But anyways, I'm trying to find the nose out one right here.
Conspiracy Cuba, yeah.
Nose out.
These days it seems as
this one here.
As if the video fakery live TV compositing crowd is gaining a lot of momentum, and this video taken by Kai Simonson, who is on Chopper 5, is the most debated video by far because of the supposed nose out feature. So video fakery advocates will say that this is a live compositing error where the layer mask simply drifted to the left because of the chopper motion, and then in order for the perps to cover up their mistake, they had to add a nose into other pieces of footage like this Gamma Press one. However, the fact that it's even in the Gamma Press video is one reason to believe that this was just a real-life event that happened to be caught on live TV and not a compositing error. For example, these other videos taken from the West, they show the exact same thing. This video taken by Andrew Foster is showing it, and so is this one. These are like the other nose-out footages that no one talks about. So I mapped out the locations of the 3 of these cameras on Google Earth, and they were all basically on the same axis. Now, this leads us to the question, was this part of a projection system to broadcast an image of a plane into the sky, and then the perpetrators forgot to turn it off until it popped out the backside of the tower, or was it simply a dust explosion? Well, there's a dozen other videos I'll be showing you that I think conclusively prove that this was a dust jet. This video taken by William Gibson shows a dust jet. This video uploaded by YouTube user Sunnylicious also shows a dust explosion. An unfortunate miss of the so-called plane, but...
Alright, yeah, we get the idea there, and, okay, so, Maggie just sent $5 donation, thank you. And, we have a comment here, for you, Stephen F. says, Mark, given your work on the projection technology, do you think it would be possible for witnesses to the second plane impact on the WTC to have identified the plane as a United plane? Personally, I think, yeah, I think so.
I think they could have done, depending on where you're from. Shall I just share this quickly, this screen?
Okay,
so
yeah,
I'll stop. About another 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing mine, so we can share yours. You could go wild.
I'll just try and find out, because that's a good question, which is relevant for what you just mentioned. Do I go to settings down or the share screen?
Yeah, you can just go share the whole screen.
Where's settings?
Also, another thing is, we just set the record today for most concurrent viewers at the same time. So
wow.
60. 59 was the old record, and that was actually, I think it was my 9/11 emergency broadcast, like near 9/11. So you just broke the record.
Thank you. That's good. Thanks to everybody. And just say hello to Norman. I'll put it onto entire screen. Is that okay? Can you see that okay?
Just share it, and then I'll let you know. Let me just
share. I've pressed share. Yeah, share. There we go. So I've got about another 10-15 minutes that I can be here.
Yeah, we'll just go.
So
now you could share your window over it.
So I'll just see what I can pick up on, because that's a good question. So if you look at this one here, one of the best frames I could get of the highest quality, because I have got the Norday in quite high quality from DVD. This isn't the Norday, this is the Lou Corchine video, or Corchesny, whichever you pronounce his French name, isn't it? So we'll just go with that. Hang on a second. So I just want
to... Yeah.
Now, the Lou Corchine, by the way, these red areas here, shows that it picks up something, a reflection in the window, by the way. So something is captured, and so, but you can't tell whether it's a plane, but something whizzes past. I just thought I'd mention that while I'm on quickly. I'm just trying to find. Now, this is the interesting thing I did. Now, this is a study of the second plane Norday video, and you've got 6 frames where the wing and tail section have disappeared, and then as it goes past the 6th frame, it begins to reappear again. Look, can you see that?
Let's see.
Very strange. Now that happens also in the Lou Corchine video as well.
Yeah, it just like doubles up.
Where you've got, so that's very, very strange. We've also got this coloured stuff happening here, these different colours at the time of impact, which me and Chris thought was something to do with like the the interference with the cameras. So that's also quite strange. But I just want to try and find, while we're talking about it, which was this is my second hit folder. I'm just opening. I've got this one. I sent you one last night, didn't I? Here we go. Now, not a lot is actually going on here, is there? With this. No debris, nothing being thrown, ejected backwards with transfer of momentum against the building. You've got looks like a lot of cladding here coming off the side of the building. Just see if I can bring the other one in. And yeah, look at these, some of the clearest pictures these you can find. That's all you've got left of that plane slamming against that building. Yet apparently it's gone through, look. And the wingtip here has not even been made, look.
Wow. Yeah, it's supposed to be across the whole thing nearly.
Yeah. Again, all very strange. I'll just go through quickly. We've got the holes in the road, which I discovered at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is ties in with the Hutchison effect.
Yep.
I won't go too much on that because I don't want to get you thrown off.
No, it's all right.
Oh, well, we're back to the ELT there, look.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you it's picking up an ELT. But I just want to try and find... Do you want me to show a couple of them Pentagon pictures?
Yeah, the Pentagon one was. I think it's probably has the most evidence against the objects in the sky, the planes.
Yeah.
Because it's Pentagon. They should have like hundreds of videos and. Like,
see, I've got that many files. I'll just mention, just see if I can do this Luma key one here, just so people understand what I was getting at.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when you pull a Luma key, look at the flame here.
Yeah.
It goes black. All this is invisible. These what remain when you stack all the frames on top of each other. It's done in 3 frames. So I'll just see if I can find that one over here. Hang on. This is how you do the compositing. You pull the key on this frame, that gets loaded on with the plane, then you got the original. Mm-hmm. Now, if that flame explodes the way it did, this is what would happen. Mm-hmm. So this black is invisible. It would make the flame invisible. Wow. Invisible. That's how you know Luma key would not work. Mm-hmm. But Ace Baker kept pushing that, knowing very well it didn't work.
Yeah, Ace was, and his name too. His name is obviously fake.
Yeah. Just mention here, by the way. These are what I mentioned back about duplicate flights. You got exactly this going on at Cleveland Airport.
Wow.
American Airlines 683.
Yeah, the actual duplicates. That.
Yeah.
That changes the things quite a bit.
And there's none of the others are duplicate. There's no other duplicate flights. That's from a Freedom of Information request that was obtained, and I picked that up because of what I was finding with the evidence with all these strange 2 lots of times of planes. Mm-hmm. Some not even allegedly taking off. So we've got the Flight 93 folder here.
Yeah, and then I was reading that wiki. Flight 93 was 42 minutes late.
Apparently.
Yeah, so that's...
It's just some bits with the trees there. Mm-hmm. What went in the film. I'd just say to people, if you watch the Alchemy film, you get a grasp of that. But come on. All this survived. It's just... there is something I wanted to mention with the 93. I don't know if I've still got it. Might not be in this collection. By the way, in 2016, I met a woman at an Andrew Johnson talk who was a flight attendant. Mm-hmm. And she knew or had interaction with C.C. Lyles.
C.C. Lyles,
who died, who made the cell phone call to her husband, Lauren.
Yeah.
So this was some early work I'd done to do with Flight 93 and all the timing. This went into the Alchemy film. And there's the Reagan National Airport 1028. Now, this was on Flight Aware for a long time. And then they just took it that to take it down in the end. Wow. Screenshot in 2013 there. So, now this is an interesting one. I've shared this. I've been sitting on this for a while. Look at this plane part up here. This is official photos. This is apparently debris from Flight 93 in these containers. Look at this wing up here. That is not a United Airline wing plane or tail section. Look at that.
Yeah.
When people say they're not planting evidence, where did this come from?
Yeah,
because it was not that plain.
It's the first time I saw it on your channel. I just don't know.
So it's questionable, isn't it? So I'll
Yeah.
just get back quickly over to the Pentagon because I know I did share some stuff with you the other day. By the way, the engine coming out the other side, in my opinion, fits nicely with what they did with the Empire State Building, where they said the engine went straight through.
Wow. That's.
But as I said to you in the other area, what we were talking about, see, I recognise that.
Wow.
That's what they said for the Empire State Building crash.
Wow.
So did they get the idea to do that? I don't know, but I'm just making a suggestion.
Yeah, but his Empire State was it a steel skyscraper or a regular a concrete building?
It was steel. Had steel. I mean, the wings didn't make it through. Let's see if I can there you go. Look, parts of the plane were still stuck there. Look.
Yeah. Like that's what you kind of would expect.
See, the wing never made it through the concrete. Look. So, just to head quickly over, I've got that much stuff. I'd need a whole 24 hours, and I'm just not. I'll just go back to these Earth's magnetic field. Look, disruptions.
Yeah, right at 8:46.
Yeah.
Right, 62
There's
people watching now. So we're breaking the record.
Oh wow!
Constantly.
Now this is very interesting because Flight 93. They said the seismic data said the reading said that there was a trace signal in the ground at 10:06. Witnesses said it was 10:06 as well. Yet the official story says 10:03. Why would they move it 3 minutes? Because it didn't fit in with their cockpit voice recorder. That's why.
Wow.
Now, look, when the crater would have been appeared, there's a spike in the Earth's magnetic field there right at the time. And it was happening, the fluctuation, peaking at 10:03 and dipping at 10:06 and then returning back up or dipping again.
Wow.
So, again, all very strange. I'm just pointing that out. Let me find this Pentagon for you. Put it somewhere. Did I put it in here? Here we go. I'll just get on these because I really did want to show this. Now, during the explosion when the alleged plane crashed, you had another secondary explosion further on down the building here.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Chris thought that was something to do with what they call blooming effects, which I think is what happened to the trees. Okay, now you might be surprised with this one. This one's for Norman. Circular holes, and we got similar style circular holes at the Pentagon collapse. Them are not straight, and they should have been because the way that building was built, look, square cut-offs there. So that's something I thought I'd just mention. What was the other thing you wanted? We wanted to touch on the
debris. I think it was the debris, or
yeah, you like the debris one, didn't you?
Well, because the thing is, I try to need an explanation for and then you showed that good image of that tire wheel inside the Pentagon somewhere there.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one. So inside there, it looks like there's a tire wheel somehow there.
So there's a wheel. That's where the one with the holes over here, that punch out hole.
Yeah, the punch out like way out. So I'm like, how does it go through all that?
So a wheel went through all that, apparently. Yeah. Now, I don't buy that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you for why. Because you got the part of the rubber wheel as well, I think, here. Look at that tyre. Now, now, to me, that tyre doesn't look big enough.
No. That's interesting.
Perhaps it is, but I don't believe that tyre would have made it through.
Yeah.
The logistics of not the logistics, the way it's architected, that the architecture of those rings because they would have had to have gone outside to make it through. Look, see that circle?
Yeah.
Circular. Look at this roof damage. All the way over here. Now it would have had to have gone through here, the wheel, gone through that wall, into that wall, out of that wall, into that wall, through this bit here, into there, and out and land over here.
Yeah, that's epic.
Right?
Yeah.
That ain't to me. That's not happening.
So, yeah. After the stream, if you could upload all the images, because like, are you sure you have 2 terabytes of images? I don't know if you have that.
Of information I have.
Okay, but above the images is like I'm an image person, so that'll be pretty good.
Do you like this bent beam the wrong way?
Yeah, yeah. These are.
That was actually look at this. That was fuming up. What's going on there with that? Right by those toasted cars, which Dr. Wood pointed out, the World Trade Center and
Pentagon.
Now one of the strange bits of debris is this here. Now that video that Norman found or somebody posted yesterday was about her husband. Now look at this pristine card. Amazing. You know, none of the planes survived, but all this is pristine. And the other phenomena, or part of it, look at this opposite the wall. Makes no sense, that doesn't. That black mark makes no sense. The hole is here. Why is that like that?
Yeah, so this is the exit hole, right? So that's the exit hole on the left. And then there's
That's a strange sort of for you guys to think about there. Now the other strange thing, well, not strange, there was trucking stuff in like they did at the towers, by the way. But all this they were putting down. And there's a lot of decontamination. Now, here's another. We got lots of this where concrete just disappears, which is similar to the Hutchison effect because they had cracking up concrete and it was affected.
And there's barely any concrete left over in a WTC. Like even the cleanup crew were surprised that there's literally not even a slab.
It is extremely strange. Just another quick here, the flight path there.
Right.
Now, the reason I'm using this one is right here, there's a guardrail. This is the official flight path where it passed over near the guardrail. Now, I just want to get on to this because I did mention this in the film. You've got a strange phenomenon happening around the Pentagon, which is not very well known. I'll just see if I can find out. These are the guardrails. Now, they look pretty in good nick, don't they? On the day.
Yeah, and then
but there was a bit of a problem left.
Oh, yeah, the rusting.
Afterwards. Yeah. And I'll show a bit more. You got rusting down here, here. I've noticed they put the trees.
Oh, they added
close
those. They added those right where the rusting is, actually. Oh, that's a good find. Oh, Methyl Miner's back. And Stephen F, thanks for the donation. Stephen F just donated.
Yeah, and this wall, similar to what you got at Shanksville with that high, like a wall. And again, you got water feature over there. So just move on down to this here. So just get back to this. Now, this is this piece where the plane flew over. Now, this was took off Google Earth 2015, May 17. Okay. Now, by 2018, they took the whole lot out. And then, to my knowledge, I don't think they've replaced it. They may have done by now, but when I last checked, they hadn't.
Wow.
Completely took out. See what else we've got knocking around to do with that. Now, this one was took at the unofficial flight path. Now, you've got a new piece that's been put in. Now, this blue line is the unofficial flight path.
What is that? What's the unofficial flight path? Oh, that's witnesses.
So you've got people who say they saw the plane on this flight path rather than this official flight path.
Okay. So that was the witness.
Which is interesting in itself, isn't it? That people witnessed it there rather than here. So this is the area we're looking at there. This is what you was left with. rusty.
Wow.
What the hell is going on there?
Yeah, that's that's very strange.
It is very strange. Now I'll just do the fire truck.
I don't think I've ever seen a rusted like bars like that on the road ever.
No, because what it is, you've got zinc.
Yeah.
Zinc protects it from rusting galvanized steel.
Yeah, and you just.
What I think was at play there was the zinc was interrupted with the field interference. It also affected clocks and watches, which have batteries in, which are alkaline. The batteries have zinc in them, which could have affected the batteries. I think it certainly may have affected this fire truck.
Yeah,
I don't know what the picture, but you can see the rusting. Yeah.
Yeah, Pentagon tire rusted for some reason, and all the circular hold you have that in
Oh,
here as well.
it's in the fire truck though, in the picture what I sent you.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Because if you could show them again.
Yeah. So yeah, I just show this one. So you're telling me the tire went all the way through this building, into that one, into that one, into that one, into that one, and come out here.
Yeah, come out there. Yeah, that's a tire.
Yeah. But just look at what's going on down this side. You've also got burning up here, and there's another one up there. Got all photographs of these, which again needs addressing. What was going on here?
Yeah, that's the exit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's an exit hole, like three buildings away.
Unbelievable. Now this is just
yeah.
tip of the iceberg stuff.
Yeah,
really.
So that three buildings one, I didn't actually see a photo until like yesterday, and I'm like, this is really the mainstream narrative.
It's unreal, isn't it? Someone else I just want to mention quickly.
Yeah.
Is this, because there's a misconception with this, and people are still going on about it. I think Simon Shack started this. If you look closely, the fumes actually cover this side of the building.
Yeah.
But as they move across with the wind, they begin to reveal where the wingtips are. Now, as that drifts over, it reveals like the hole. People think it was a delayed ignition of the wingtip. Look, but it actually wasn't.
Yeah.
It's just the fumes moving across and the explosion.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
what I thought.
Then revealing. So it wasn't a 6-second thing going on. There you go. I'll put that. I just wanted to clear that up. Now Simon Shack sells that as, you know,
yeah,
a delay.
That's Simon Shack though. It's hard to wonder if that's what he really thinks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see.
Are
we nearly?
911 wants to play video about the water features. We'll play that once he's done his presentation at the end. But
we also have this strange anomalies, which mentioned with Chris. Now people try and say this is paper.
Yeah, I think it's higher.
These are these orbs.
Yeah, the orbs was a very interesting.
Yeah.
Setup there.
And now I'll just move along.
That
quickly.
was a
Look
good
at
photo
these two. Look at these.
But that was a good photo with the wing. I actually found a high definition photo of, I think it might be even that one of the wing thing. Okay, yeah, these are the orbs there. Yes, the 911 Alchemy video is quite fascinating.
No, they're all there. Look. And then they disappear. Very, very strange. Just quickly go through it while I'm there. Was other planes in the skies, by the way, at the time. Here's some. Got this plane up here, jet.
Yeah, the mystery planes was very interesting.
Yeah, there was a mystery plane at every event, by the way.
Wow.
Hang on a second, just get that one out.
Yeah, I think they called it the White Elephant or something like
that.
that.
Yeah, you got that there. He's better. Another one there. Another one over here after the. There he is again, up over here. This one, I'll show that one in better quality. So we got the plane there, and we got this other plane passing over. What was he doing up there?
Yeah, this is a great photo. There's both planes there. That's amazing.
So you got two jetliners up in the at the time.
At the same time, this guy looks like he's looking at the other one. He's facing him too.
There they are. Look.
And it might be there's a helicopter underneath. So that's
that's another one on the opposite side. So just get rid of that.
Yeah,
I'm just flicking through some of these quickly. He's also picked up here.
Yeah.
What an odd plane, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could actually tell me what that jet is. Just go back quickly. What am I looking at? Trying to find something.
So yeah.
Find that one there. We've done the Pentagon, didn't we? Yeah. So I'm just going to make the. Oh, by the way, look, they're still. Be very wary of people pushing this type of thing. There, they said this man who described the grey plane. They said he was this man, this actor Gary Wells. Killtown pushed this. It's absolute nonsense.
Yeah, that's that.
Absolute nonsense.
Well, that's
I've got a phone call with this guy, with Jeff Hill.
Wow.
But they still up there. They've still pushed it. Nobody. Yeah, look, straight off Killtown's site.
Yeah, that's why I try to avoid those disinfo sites. Like once you know they're disinfo, it's just hard to.
Yeah, I'm just like warning people,
Paul Lovell says that aircraft pictures is an ERG. Not sure what ERG is.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
I mean, that's just look at that.
Yeah, that is something.
Just see if there's one more thing before we go.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I've done the rusting phenomenon, haven't I? Pardon me. You do get rusting. There is rusting happening in New York as well.
Yeah.
At some places. So it's just something to follow up for people. But just note they put them trees there, by the way.
Okay.
I've probably come off this and I go, oh, I forgot something that we never touched on. There was that patent, weren't there? Oh, here we go. That's a picture of. Just get that back again. That's a picture of Flight 11 at the gate, D26.
Yeah, that's
taken by a lady. I'm not going to disclose the lady's name because she also took pictures of the passengers.
Does the metadata say what time it was? The photo? You could,
oh, that'd be a good thing to do. I never thought of doing that.
So you can right click and go details and then see what date was created. A file info. Yeah, or just click file info up.
That one there.
No, file info up. You scroll, put your higher up. Yeah, down, in the middle, and near the middle. Yeah, file info.
Oh yeah. Might be when I added it. I don't know. I might take it into one of them EXIF data forensic.
Yeah, you can check that, because that'd be great. Because this is a 9/11.
That's mine.
So you can find the date of this flight 11. That'd be mind-boggling.
Yeah. Well, this lady took pictures of passengers as well. Something else I'd quickly discovered, but this is more on the Judy Wood stuff, which I wrote about, was these vehicles.
Yeah.
There you go. Look, all intact there. And then look what you got.
Well, that's the exact same vehicle. That's a great spot that you did.
Yeah.
Toasted
I got
vehicle
quite a
before
few
and
of
after.
that. Another one here.
Yeah, so I need all these images.
I actually tracked them, so see with the fires, or weird fire. So I've got a lot of that stuff. I've got stuff I've never published, so I'll probably get them to you guys, and you can make it what you will. But I'll come out of this. But I've got so much. I'd need like 24 hours probably just to, or a few days.
Yeah. But a lot of the images
I'll stop sharing now. Yeah.
Okay. So
I haven't got too long left.
yeah. So we're pretty much done. I just wanted to see, because I promised Now Visions will share the we'll share that video of, let's say, window. I'm just gonna go here. Of the video, okay, 64 peaks, 65. Okay, we're literally in a record territory right now. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, so now that's good. So I'm gonna go to 9/11 Revisionist and then play the water features one. Important to show this video. It's hard. It's not playing though. This can't be played with Telegram web. Open a desktop. Let's see if I have to open it. I'll have to share it like personally. Yeah, I don't know how to share it then desktop.
Soil is made of 50.
Can you send a no video, Matt? Oh, sorry. I am running out of. Let's see this one. What am I on right now? Get this. Presenting. And sorry guys. Okay, so we're right here. 9/11 Revisionist, it's not playing, so, and it's hard to connect to the desktop. Can you send me a link to 9/11 Revisionist? Send a link. I have a guy one debate on March 3rd. It's going to be epic. Yeah, if you could just send a video of it, so we can actually play it there. Otherwise, I will see if I can just find it here. Water, but I think we're pretty much done. Water.
Just to mention as well, that is the patent which they can look up. It's probably on my blog somewhere that I discussed with Chris Hampton about how they can project into three-dimensional volumetric images into thin air. So
oh yeah,
they can also add sound into plasma as well. So that's just another area.
Yeah. So that's one time. Yeah, we'll probably need to do another interview. And the Project Bluebeam one, that's if you're down for that, and also when your book is out. Okay, OKC, I'm gonna just see if I can have OKC water sites. 9/11 Revisionist, I'll have to upload to my channel. Okay, well, in no rush, because he has to leave. We can show that next time. I just don't want to put it in. Let's see, we have 64 people, 61.
Wow.
We've had... yeah, we've had quite a bit of people. Mark plasma reflects radar energy as well. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, and what's the next setup here?
Good point. That was, by the way.
2 hours 41 minutes. Okay, you said 1 hour or 2 hours. You're almost at 3 hours. So, I think 9/11 Revisionist. I don't know if you want to wait for that video or he's uploading. I think to Odyssey or something. Just we'll have to. By the way, I'm gonna stop sharing this, and we'll give him like another minute. You're on the clock, 9/11 Revisionist. So otherwise, okay, Brave tab live streaming. So, but you can see the chat and so on. Mark, you can see it's getting huge.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and $25 revenue plus another 20 on PayPal, so $40.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And hopefully this stream goes up. I don't think we did anything too ridiculous.
No, I don't think we did.
We said planes a lot, so that's good. Give me a second or two. 9/11 Revisionist is sending a link. Yeah, so that's the thing. Instead of sending directly video, it's usually easier links because where's he uploading it to? I don't know why it's not playing though. Let's see if I could do. Actually, what I could do it on my own then.
I'll have to leave leave it now, Matt.
Okay. So we'll just say bye to you, and then I'll play the video when you leave, and then I'll just end it.
No problem. Plus
right.
my back.
No worries.
Really bad.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great seeing you,
Nice.
and
Look after yourself and say hello to Norman.
Yeah, for sure. And have a good one. Yeah, thanks. And you feel free to come by anytime. And when your book is done, let me know. We will promote it and so on. Anyways, that's all. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who coming on the comments and chat. Appreciate that. Go to my blog page and YouTube channel and subscribe as well. That'd be helpful. And BitChute.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks to everyone and to you, Matt.
Yeah.
Bye
sure.
for now.
Yeah, for sure. I'll share all your links. Anyway, have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. He's gone, and it's just me. Let's see. Window. Live streaming out. Okay, so I'm just waiting for Niall the Revisionist to play that video, and then we'll just end it. Mark's just signing off. Yeah, guys, I'm just waiting for Niall the Revisionist. He says he's uploading the video, and he wants to share it. But yeah, okay, so Paulo says, Matt, if possible, I would edit out the pictures of burn victims that was shown in the stream. We'll see how it is. YouTube's alright as long as it's, like, very quick. But if they do flag it, I'll just have it automatically remove it. If they flag it as whatnot. But it's usually, if it's hidden in like a 3-hour live stream, they wouldn't do anything. But I think it's fine. Because like that was pretty epic. I had no idea about that. Okay, so Niall Revisionist, where is he? Okay, send a link. Okay, so Mark's gone. But we got 9/11 Revisionist right here. What did he? Oh, that was this one. Alright, share this tab. Last video and we're going.
Soil is made of 50 to 200 parts per million of iron. We have iron. Soil is made of 50 to 200 parts per million of iron. We have iron in soil. We also have in fertilizers up to 20% of some fertilizers are iron, and 5% of the Earth's crust is made of iron.
But also the video, I might get demonetized for that video. We gotta get rid of this song there.
So you would have iron in the ground that possibly, if some phenomenon was applied to that ground, could form tiny spherical balls of iron.
As soon as I learned this, I immediately thought about the soil in Shanksville and the fact that it didn't have any jet fuel contamination. So I decided to do a bit of digging. And it turns out it was contaminated with something else. Of course, this has been blamed on the old minefield where the plane crashed. Nevertheless, the links here are extraordinary.
Flight 93's fuselage fell near a closed underground mine that was filled with water, contaminated with iron and manganese that was leaking into surrounding areas. The company had already installed both passive and active cleaning systems, but there were problems.
It seems the water helps to hide the residual energy effects.
To fulfill those conflicting needs took more than a year of study, which determined two things. The site would benefit from enhancing the pumping system by directing the mine water against rocks. The resulting aeration helps break the polluting iron away from the water and allows it to settle. But something else was needed.
Well, we sampled the water for a year, figured out that additional ponds were not going to do the job, and what we had to do is create a wetland environment.
So they installed this pump well. Which also made me think, where have I seen this before? We have the same sort of pump well in New York City that pumps thousands of gallons of water per minute non-stop. Going down this endless black cube.
Take care of this pump well water that is currently coming out down at the memorial and creating a pollutional problem at the impact site.
I wondered if they built a water feature at the Pentagon also, so I did a bit more digging. And guess what? Same thing here.
If you look, you'll notice there's also been a lot of trees planted.
Plants do a great job at making the iron stick to the plants and remove itself from the water.
It's also possible that the energy is affecting the trees and plants themselves. If you take a look at the trees in Shanksville, even in 2009 they didn't fully grow back. And if you look at them today, they still look kind of strange to me.
The cleaner water will be sufficiently pure to use in the memorial's rest areas and also for irrigation needs at the nearby tree planting and mine reclamation projects.
I suspect that these pump wells and filtration systems were actually built to cover up the energy effects.
And also at the World Trade Center site itself, some areas of the site continue to be hosed down 7 years after the events.
7 years, guys, keep that in mind.
It seems like the plants and the trees could also be helping with this effect.
Plants do a great job at making the iron stick to the plants and remove itself from the water.
I can't fully prove it, but I suspect the iron that's contaminating these systems are the same as these iron microspheres. Of course, it's a lot harder to find information about the Pentagon's water system.
There's actually no doubt in my mind that there's energy effects at Shanksville.
Alright, epic. And just fitting that the last person to speak was Mark Conlon. Alright, thanks for that video. Thanks for the video, an Island Revisionist, and I have to go, guys. You're gonna, I guess, 50 people. Okay, we had a bunch of people sign off. Anyways, guys, yeah, I think another Revisionist wants to chime in, but I gotta go. We'll save it. Also, Building 7 presentation by Nile Revisionist in 2 weeks. So that's still going to be happening. So that's going to be on the March 9th. Keep that on your calendar. Anyways, guys, have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed Mark Conlon. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, I love you too, Paul. Let's go. Paul, love more, bro. Love more, Paul. Right, let's go, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for, yeah, Stephen F. We got a whole bunch of super fans, and also another super fan in the Sunny G, which was a timeout for a while by accident. Anyways, thanks, guys. And everyone, fingers crossed we don't get banned on this live stream. It's pretty epic. And let's just keep going, guys. All right, have a good one. And see ya. I'm signing off in 3, 2, 1, and end stream.